And we are live and we're back. We're back for the final roundup of the season where we know who won the league. Of course, we know who got relegated. We know the top four places. We know the Europa League places, the Conference League place. And, we're just here to talk about what transpired throughout the season. It has been a long season from September. Let me see, 9 months, September, October, November, December. Yeah, 9 months, man. God damn. Oh, man, if you did the right thing at the beginning of the season, you could have been having a baby like right about now. But I do have a baby, and that's the title. God damn, it feels so great to be the champions of England once again for the fifth time in the Premier League era and for the third time under Josep Guardiola, one of the greatest managers of all time, one of the greatest managers ever to do it. And we even got to witness one of the greatest strikers of all time and one of the greatest Premier League strikers of all time. You could already give him his Hall of Fame place, man. Give it to him while he's still playing because the man is a legend. Sergio Kun Aguero, number 10. God damn, feels good to be back. It's hot as hell in New York City. And it's hot as hell right now because we're about to do the damn thing. God damn, I almost, choked on my spit there. How's everybody? Big up to the boy Dave in the house. Dave's supposed to join me. Dave, take your time, man. Take your time. Whenever you're ready, gather your notes and gather your thoughts because, we're going to be having a nice little discussion here between all of us, the subs, the supporters, and just the Premier League fans, the football lovers. So big up to the boy Thriller from Manila, champions of Germany as well. Who is that? Bayern fan? Julian, B2K Julian. We have Dave LFC Chats, Yusuf Morsi in the here. We have Yusuf Morsi in here. I don't know if I said Yusuf Morsi in the air. That does not sound good. Lona TK in the house. Pepe's awesome. Fraser Talks Football in the house. Josh Byrne. Thank you very much, Josh Byrne, for coming through once again. So we have Thriller jump in the super chat right away, and Thriller is saying 38 match predictions, 38 roundups. Big up to the consistency. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. We probably did more. There were probably a few like in between, but all in all, 38 match weeks, 38 predictions made, and 38 roundups made, and probably, more. Probably more to add to that. So consistency is key, man. Consistency, I would go even further to say consistency is king. It's king. Regardless to what the videos do, if they get 100 views or 10,000 views, you still got to come back. You still got to come back. Seriously, you have to know what you're doing this for. You got to know the reason why you're here. And it definitely, and it should never be motivated by money, and it should be never motivated by views. And that's the key to longevity and success. So let us talk, guys. Let us talk. Let us talk about these Premier League games and whatever else we have to chat about. We'll do it after. We'll do it with the whatever time we have left. I was eating some chips there. Came home from work. Just had a little chips to, hold me for the time being. I got myself a Modelo, you know what I'm saying, Especial. You guys, where I come from in St. Vincent, the journey. You see the commercials, they talk about the journey and everything. I got to drink me a Modelo. You see what I'm saying? I got to sip a Modelo. No Heineken or Corona right now. I'm sipping a Modelo. What are you drinking, guys? What are you sipping on? And for those of you guys who are under the legal age, don't be doing this. Just letting you know one time. I don't want to be a bad influence for the younger folk in here. So how's everybody feeling today? We have Ernest Blankson saying, hey, Dom, long time. Hope you're good. We finally secured. Oh, man, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, man. Because you haven't seen me for a long time because you guys are outside the top four spot. I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear none of y'all Liverpool fans right about now. Oh, you're coming out the woodworks because you placed third? I predicted you to place third. I did this. I knew this already. I knew this before a ball was kicked. Okay? I don't know if I could find my predictions right now, but I don't think I have the book. I have to go and look for the book. I don't know where's the book. I've probably finished a couple books this season. So I don't know my prediction. I will make a separate live stream talking about, my predictions and stuff like that. But let's talk about this week's matches, the final ones. And let us start with a few of the dead rubber games, and let us go. Let us talk. And wait. It seems like Harry Kane has officially clinched the golden boot, right? Oh, yeah, Harry Kane, 23 goals. So congratulations to Harry Kane on being the Golden Boot recipient with 23 goals. Mo Salah wasn't able to score today for Liverpool. I tried to watch a Liverpool game at the same time as a City game. I was going in between trying to watch a Chelsea Villa game and a Leicester Tottenham game. But my second device wasn't really doing well because of my data. My data for the month went over 100 gigabytes because I'm watching so much football on the phone. So the tethering wasn't so strong. But congrats to Harry Kane, who, I assure you, will be a Manchester City player next season. Woo! I turned the fan off. It's getting hot in here, man. Oh, man. Let me turn that back on because it's already heating up in here. All these things I have here, the monitors and the freaking laptop and the PS4 I was playing earlier and everything. So I'm hyped and I'm hot. But Harry Kane, hopefully he is a City player next season, because why would you continue staying at Tottenham Hotspur? What are you going to do next season? Play in the Conference League? Is that what you're going to do next season? So guys, let's start with a milder fixture. And let's start with, let's start with the Sheffield United 1, Burnley 0. I actually predicted Burnley to win a goal to 0, so it is the opposite result. So, yeah, I get them wrong sometimes. But this has been one of my best weeks in terms of predictions. I got a few predictions spot on, and I think I have 7 predictions correct. And this is one of them that I did not get correct. So congratulations to Paul Heckingbottom and Sheffield United, even though they are at the bottom of the table. But they were able to prevent themselves from not being the worst ever Premier League team in terms of points tally, goals scored, and all that good stuff. So even though they're being relegated, 20th in the league, it's still a respectable way to go out with a few wins at the back end of the season. And this win came courtesy of a 24th minute goal by David McGoldrick. How fitting. And I must say that David McGoldrick has been the best player of the season for Sheffield United. Congratulations, David McGoldrick. And at the age that he's at right now, I don't think he will ever, never say never. Never say never. You never know. But I doubt he will be back in the Premier League. I don't know. Matter of fact, who knows? Sheffield could be back up in the Premier League for the 22-23 season. We don't know. So I'm not going to jump the gun and say that. But McGoldrick has been very, very good this season for them, I must say. Of course, guys, I did not watch this game. I didn't watch highlights because of time constraints. All the games are being played at the same time. But I do like to look around and see if I notice anything that is worth mentioning. But I don't see anything really worth mentioning, though. But Ender Stevens, that has to be talked about. That was his first assist this season. We could remember him and Basham and all these guys were overlapping, and Baldock, all these guys, and helping out Sheffield with those goals. But that was lacking from their game this season. And something else that we have to talk about is that Ryan Brewster has officially gone the entire season without scoring a single goal. I think he did pick up an assist, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that. No goals, no assists in 27 appearances, and that is absolutely poor. That is a season to forget. That is also a season to remember for Ryan Brewster. He'll never forget it, and he would want to do a lot better next time he does play in the Premier League. It is crazy that this could be a make or break season for his career, because he could either learn from this, go to the championship, score a ton of goals. Even if Sheffield does not come up, he gets picked up by another Premier League team, and then his career continues, right? Or what he could do from not being like stuck in the championships or the lower divisions forever, he could move abroad. That is also a possibility in the future. He is still young. We don't want to make conclusions here, but Ryan Brewster, it is just sad that he didn't score. There was a lot of expectations, and I was actually surprised when I saw the bid come in for Ryan Brewster and the amount of money they paid. I made a video on the channel. You could go back and check it. I was like, what? Sheffield United did what? I'm like, Chris Wilder, you're a wild boy. That's why you got relegated. That's why you guys got sacked. Not saying it's only Ryan Brewster, but it's decisions like that actually cost Sheffield United their place in the Premier League. All the best in the championship, and well done on the win. Even young Daniel Jefferson picked up a goal, and Alisson Becker picked up a goal. Guys, before I move any further into today's episode, the last roundup of the season in terms of the Prem de la Prem, my goal of the season, my goal, hands down, my goal of the season, I don't care what it is, I don't care who doesn't agree, Alisson Becker's goal, that header against West Brom, goal of the season. Congratulations, Alisson. Congrats. Goal of the season for me. Goal of the season. Easily goal of the season. Easily goal of the season. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I know there has been some really good goals. Eberiche Eze scored a good goal. We had Ferran Torres. We had Lamela scoring a good goal. But I kid you not, that goal by Alisson, that had serious ramifications in terms of Liverpool getting the energy and the boost they needed, the confidence, the motivation, the zeal they needed to get that top 3 spot, and they did come in third. I think if they actually picked up a draw in that game, the heads would have dropped, and more results like that could have followed against Burnley and against Crystal Palace for sure. So, got my boy Dave in the house. How are you doing, Dave?
Absolutely fantastic after that. I can't believe it, to be honest with you. 3rd place? You having me on?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, before I start, I want to say congratulations to Manchester City and to yourself from past champions, handing the trophy over to the future champions, obviously. Congratulations, deserved it. Well done. And what a player, Aguero. I seen him today. He was almost in tears. Actually, Guardiola was in tears in the interview, if you've seen it, after the game.
Yeah.
Talking about Aguero.
What actually happened with that game is that I was having some network problems. So as soon as the game finished, NBC, they cut over to some other games and they were showing what was going on in the other games. So I didn't even get to see the trophy lift or the celebration or anything. I didn't get to see any of that. But I'm pretty sure I'll be able to go and watch it on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was at work too, It's unfair to me that I have to catch everything while I'm on the road, while I have to do my work. I have to stay focused. And I'm there still trying to watch Premier League games. It's nuts. It's been a hell of a season, man.
I'll tell you what, this has been a crazy season. I mean, it is. It's been crazy. I mean, you guys did your stuff anyway. You've had it won from a while back. It was done and dusted. But everything, I think today was like a microcosm of the season.
Yeah.
Basically. You know what I mean? Everything today. I mean, you look at City hammering Everton by 5 goals to 0. I mean, there you go straight away. So they're the champions. Bang, there's your party. Aguero leaving. You had so many connotations going on all over the shop. You had Harry Kane and Salah fighting for top goal scorer. They had a chance for Europa. I think they just got it. Spurs. I mean, you had Leicester City. I don't want to call them bottle jobs, but to lose 4-2 at home when you're leading 2-1 and all you really have to do is win the game. I knew Chelsea was tough. I just knew there was something going to happen in that game. And I had a feeling Liverpool would probably actually said 2-0 yesterday. Liverpool would win 2-0. But it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, Dave, we have a lot to talk about right now. But thanks for coming through. I was actually talking about the Sheffield United Burnley game. I predicted Burnley to squeeze it 1-0, but Sheffield finished off their season strongly. Picked up a win there. What are your thoughts on Sheffield and their season? How in a nutshell?
Well, do you want the real thoughts? I mean, they've
Yeah.
had a terrible. I think today would have been, if they would have lost today, Sheffield United. I think it would have been the first time that team had lost 30 league games. If I'm correct, I think it was around 29, and they actually beat Burnley. Was a 1-0 McGoldrick.
Yeah.
But they finished the season on, I wouldn't say on a high, but they certainly finished the season with something. But a terrible season, haven't they? Let Chris Wilder go. Just a poor season all round. I mean, I think they feed off the fans as well, Dominic, at Bramall Lane, and I think that was a big miss for them as well.
I'll say they kind of finished the season somewhat on a high, considering how low their season was overall. Because Heckingbottom came in and I think he did fairly okay, and they should give him the job because he has experience already. So going down to the championship, I think he'll be able to handle the team, and the fact that the core of the team will still be there, hopefully for them, they would actually fight hard and come back up. Because if you saw what happened with the teams that went down recently, they were actually fighting to come back up. Two came up in Norwich, and Watford and Bournemouth almost came up, missed out on that playoff final spot. So I think Sheffield would go down. They would, they have some very young, talented players there, and they would fight to come back up. Your thoughts on, before we move on to the next game, your thoughts on Ryan Brewster not getting any goals this season?
Well, I mean, I think we got 25 million for him. He was never really going to get it for Liverpool. He was never going to be a starter, was he? I mean, it just wasn't. I've seen him in pre-seasons last year where he scored a few goals in pre-season friendlies. Looked good. He's only young. But to be fair, it's hard to do it in a struggling team as well, Dominic. You know what I mean? They don't create a huge amount of chances. He's young. He'd 1 or 2 injuries. I can see him getting better, but I think he might need to get out of Sheffield United, to be fair, if he has any chance. They're in the Championship now, which is a tough league, Domo. Yeah, it's a tough league. You know what I mean? It's a rough and tumble league.
I've played FIFA from the lower leagues up, and it's harder than when you're in the Premier League. I've never played professional football, so I don't know, but I know it's very tough.
Tough. Yeah.
You could be, let's say, 7th with 6 games to go and end up 18th. That's how tough the Championship is. So, but he did play in the Championship previously, and he did well at Swansea, and that is what prompted Sheffield United, I think, to spend the money on him.
Yeah.
Which could have worked out. It could have worked out, but it just didn't. No fans. There was a lot of things that just didn't align for Ryan Brewster, and I wish him all the best.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Dave, Burnley, your thoughts before we move on, because this is somewhat of a roundup, the final roundup, where me on my channel, I don't have any time restriction. I talk and I finish everything that I no stones left unturned.
I have a while. I said earlier I could only come on for a while, but I actually have a bit longer than I thought, so it's okay.
No, it won't be long. We'll get through a few. Yeah. And we will definitely touch on the Liverpool game before you leave, But Burnley, in a nutshell, they placed 17th with 39 points. Yeah. Still 11 points above the drop, which is not that bad. But they didn't finish off their season strongly with 4 losses in their last 5 games. Just Burnley in a nutshell for me.
I was going to speak like Sean Dyche there for a minute, but no, I'll tell you, Burnley in a nutshell for me is basically a good season for them is staying up, Dominic. Let's be fair here. They don't spend the money. They don't have the money. Turf Moor is a tough place to go. I was worried playing Burnley midweek, you know that? I was actually worried. I thought that was the hurdle to get over. Even more than the Old Trafford game, I was saying, oh no, not going to Burnley on a wet night, on a Wednesday night in Turf Moor, because it's a tough place. And Sean Dyche has them tough to beat. I know the season's been unusual for them, but I think they're okay. Once they stay in the Premier League, what more do you want from them? I don't think they can give you any more.
Yeah, you're spot on, Dave. And I just got an epiphany. I got to have you on more next season. That's why I like talking to you, because you're fair, you're not delusional, and you're on point. You're so on point, man. Like a decimal. You're so
I like that. I like that. Yeah, you're pretty on point yourself, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess we complement each other, because you and I have done a few videos together, and I plan for us to link up during the off season and for us to drop some heat. You see what I'm saying? We're going to have a lot of discussions. Whether we do it live or we do it offline, we'll make up our mind on what we want to do, but we would actually get some things done. But you said it about Burnley. For them, a successful season would be to stay in the Premier League because of their budget, the players they have and everything, the manager they have, and just the overall, mentality of the club and everything. They have recently acquired, new ownership came in, and they will be a more ambitious club. But sometimes a little more ambition could actually hurt you sometimes, because if you saw what Sheffield United did, it's just a little extra ambition that actually let them stray away from the way of playing, their style, and it caused them to capitulate this season, and hence they're out of the Premier League. So that'll be it for that first game. Sheffield United 1, Burnley 0. Sheffield finished 20th. Burnley finished 17th. So we are going to move on to the next game. And that match will be... I want to talk about another dead rubber, something with no real significance. And then we move on really quick. But Dave, also give me a heads up to when you have about 20 minutes left so we could talk about
it. We're okay. There's no panic.
Okay. No panic. So Fulham 0, Newcastle 2. My prediction for this one, Dave, was Fulham 0, Newcastle 2. So
Woo.
I was, yeah, man, yeah.
Nostradamus, Dominic.
Yeah, man. Look. Oh, man. Listen, it was written, bro. You see right there, it says, it was written. It was written. Once I write it down, there's a high possibility that it could actually happen. So in this game, we had Joe Willock and Fabian Shaw scoring. Joe Willock in the 23rd, Fabian Shaw in the 88th. And I did mention that Willock would score.
I heard you midweek. Yeah, I heard you Friday, I think.
Is this his 6th or 7th game in a row he has scored? Some ridiculous number like that, which is just awesome, man, for the young man. And this is what you want from a loan stint. A player going out and doing well. But maybe not too well, because then Newcastle would want him now.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
That's the problem there. I mean, Arsenal, is he going to get a start for Arsenal? Probably not, Dominic. Let's be real. I think if Newcastle can sign him, the only thing is now his price has gone up, obviously. And we know the way Newcastle are with money. You know the way they are with money. Their owners don't like to get rid of money too much. So I think all eyes on Willock at Newcastle. I like Newcastle as a club and a great fan base. I'd like them to do well, but it was a good win for Newcastle today. They've been on a nice little run. Fulham are down. It was a dead rubber for them. They're gone anyway. But it was a good win for Newcastle. A good little finish to the season for them. It was a good finish, 2-0.
Yeah, considering how the start of 2021 was, where they had a whole lot of COVID cases, a lot of injuries, and the season started out really well for them after they made some good signings during the summer, bringing in the likes of Jeff Hendrick, Ryan Fraser, Callum Wilson. They even brought in Jamal Lewis, who was linked to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And, maybe one or two other players that I'm not mentioning right now, but they did a proper overhaul of their squad. And in the end, it's a very successful season for them, because I did mention the last time I streamed that Newcastle could F around and end up 12th. After the way they were, where they could have been in the relegation battle, and finishing 12th is an absolutely great season for a team like Newcastle, who were in danger. You know what I'm saying? As for Fulham, not so much.
No.
So Dave, I just took a look at Joe Willock's matches and the goals he has scored, right? in the last 7 games that the man has been involved in for Newcastle, he has scored every single time. And it's only in one match against Man City that Newcastle failed to pick up any points.
Yeah. The problem for Newcastle is now you'll have other teams looking at him. You know what I mean? Other than Arsenal take it back or not. They'll be looking for money now, I think, for him. They'll be looking for a nice, easy few dollars for him. So, but the problem for Newcastle, as I say, is some higher up team might be going, hold on, we need a striker here. I might take him. You know what I mean? So that's Newcastle's problem.
I think right now his market value is about 16 mil. I think 25 mil does it for Joe Willock. 25 mil.
Yeah. What age is he?
He's still very young. He's 21. He's
21,
He's turning 22 this summer, and I've seen him play, but I was like, a little cameo here and there, a few starts for Arsenal. But at Newcastle, you're seeing a different player.
Yeah,
you're seeing a whole different player. Dave, are you aware that Andy Carroll will be leaving Newcastle this end of this season?
Didn't even know he was still there. Holy moly. Don't mention Andy Carroll to me, for God's sake. We signed him for a record fee at the time, and everybody knows the history of that one. But
yeah.
Wow.
So Joe Willock, what a season. Definitely a great season for him. He scored 9 Premier League goals, 1 assist. I can't remember if he scored any goals for Arsenal this season. No, he didn't. Well, he actually scored
a League Cup goal, was it?
He scored 9 Premier League goals, and well, I'm seeing 8 here, but I don't know why the stat says 9. But he has done well. Let's just come to the conclusion that Joe Willock was the savior for Newcastle after the January transfer was made. And maybe if he was at Arsenal, he would have been on the bench for most of those matches. So 14 matches for Newcastle, 8 goals. Do you go as far as to say he is Newcastle's player of the season, or maybe not? Maybe it's St. Maxima, maybe?
Maxima's been good as well, hasn't he? He's had a few injuries, though. But I think for a young lad to come in, trying to make a name for himself, I think he'd probably deserve it more than Maxima, to be fair.
Yeah, I'll give it to him because Callum Wilson missed a large chunk of the season through injury. Carl Darlow was also very good, and then Dubravka came back, and so it's like you can't really pinpoint any standout player apart from what Willock have done at the back end of the season, to be frank.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Fulham, Dave, their season in a peanut shell.
Peanut shell. Poor Fulham. I just don't think they ever. Do you know what they gave us? They drew with us and beat us. Fulham.
Yeah,
that's how bad our season was up until the last 10 games. I mean, that just sums it up for you. You know what I mean? They've done all right in big games, Fulham, but it's the nitty-gritty that keeps you up. It's the nitty-gritty games against the teams that are around you. That's what keeps you up. And it's not the likes of United and Liverpool. It's the likes of Sheffield United and Burnley getting results at them games because you're keeping them away from you. And they just didn't do it, Fulham, and deserve to go down, unfortunately.
Well said, Doug. Well said. I echo your thoughts. And they had a period when they beat you guys. That period was a period where it looked as if they were going to survive. But then after that, it was like downhill, man. And it was just like it's like too many loanies. The core of the squad was kind of pushed to the wayside, and the loanies were depended on. You had the PSG keeper Areola in goal, picking the ball out the back of the net on so many occasions. You have guys like Lemina, you have Lookman, dazzling here and there, and then, going absent other times. So I don't think they prepared well enough, and that's what Scott Parker has been talking about, the preparation, the way the club is ran, and they're a yo-yo club. The club needs to be fixed, maybe not on the field, but off the field, the mentality. You see what I'm saying? So they spent 100 mil the last time and they got relegated anyway. So I think they deserve to get relegated. I did predict them to get relegated.
Yeah.
But look, we won't be too long-winded on this one. Congratulations to Newcastle on their win and them coming in 12th. But for Fulham, hopefully for them, they would come back to the Premier League next time around and they do a lot better. So we're going to move on to the next one, Dave. We're going to talk about Leeds West Brom. I predicted a 3-0 win for this one, and it almost ended just so. It ended in
3-1.
a 3-1 win.
Yeah.
And in this game, we had Rodrigo scoring his 7th goal of the season, set up by Rafinha, who I want to hear your thoughts on. Yeah. Look, Dave. Before we move on, Rafinha, 9 assists this season. 9.
I like him.
9.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Give me your quick thoughts.
Sign him up. I'd like him. He has everything going for him. At a top team, I think he would even be better. To be fair, I'm not saying Leeds are the top team, but I'm talking about a top 4, top 6 team. I think is his stats would just go up and up and up. Better players around them, that type of thing. I would like Liverpool to look at him, and I'm sure they probably are. Do you know what? City could even be looking at him. He's that good. I think I can't see him being at Leeds in August.
I echo your thoughts. 9 assists, 6 goals, 30 matches, first Premier League season. The man has hit the ground running, and I would love him at City, but it would be nice for somebody else to get him so there could be a little competition, though. But I like to say big up to everybody in the chat right now. Appreciate everybody who has joined. And guy, make sure you smash the thumbs up button. We got over 50 people in here. Make sure the video reaches 50 thumbs up ASAP. And I like to take the time to thank Dave again. Dave, you're on fire. You're on fire already, man. Definitely on fire. So
I better pour this Coca-Cola over my head here.
Don't make me pull this out, You're on fire, bro. You see what I'm saying? You're on absolute fire. So just to finish off the score sheet, Calvin Phillips with a direct free kick. Wow, in the back of the net, his first goal of the season. Calvin Phillips, I must say, Dave, is one of the most underrated players.
Yeah.
And I have to name him my player of the season for Leeds United. Such an underrated role he plays. You notice when he doesn't play, they don't get good results, or when he doesn't play well. Calvin Phillips, player of the season for Leeds United. Hands down.
I'll second it. I mean, Leeds United they've had a good season. Let's be fair. They came up. They've had a good season. They did okay. They're really good to watch. Great team to watch. You would watch Leeds as a neutral, wouldn't you? And not being a Leeds fan or anything like that. I love watching them.
Love him. Love him. You know what? They play total football.
Yeah.
Anyone, barring maybe the strikers, anybody else could play anywhere. Like the midfielders could play in defense. They can play at right back. They could play at right wing back. And I just love the way Bielsa has this team so well drilled. And there were questions over their fitness and whether they could last and withstand an entire Premier League season, which is a very grueling season. And they did. And this is courtesy of some very, very good work in front of goal by Patrick Bamford, who scored the 3rd Leeds goal in the 79th minute. 17 goals this season. Bamford, success.
I mean, there's a lot of talk about Bamford leaving the club. I've seen that in the last few weeks. Even some top teams looking at him. Even I've seen it on Twitter. Even people saying Liverpool were going to go for Bamford, but I don't think he'd suit Liverpool. But anyway, listen, as you said, you started out with Calvin Phillips. He does the simple thing well. And I think that's what's important, to do the simple thing well. You know what I mean? That's what you just said. He does a lot of unnoticed stuff because he does the simple thing so bloody well. You don't even notice it.
Yep.
That's it.
When we played against Leeds, Calvin Phillips, man, I'm like, God damn, this guy, man, Jesus Christ. Stuart Dallasine, no, but Calvin Phillips, they have so many guys that just fly under the radar. Alioski at Dallas, And today was Pablo Hernandez's last game for Leeds United. He would also leave at the end of the season. So big up to the Spaniard. He was one of the main reasons they got promoted in the first place. So That is just something to note, give you guys a little tidbit there. As for West Bromwich Albion, they did score. Hal Robson-Kanu scored in his last 2 Premier League games there. I think last 3 games he scored. He didn't score against Liverpool. He scored. Did he score against Liverpool?
Who?
Hal Robson-Kanu. Who scored?
No.
It was him. It was him.
Hold on. It was Robson, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know what? I was like a zombie watching that bleeding game, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it was
until
him,
the 94th minute.
It was him. So he scored 2 at the back end of the season, and you might think, like, what if he was involved a lot more? For example, Leeds did bring in Rodrigo, who could play up top, but what they did, they persisted with Bamford, and he rewarded the coach with the goals. What if a player like Hal Robson-Kanu, what if a Colin Grant was given the opportunities that they were actually in the team? They given the role that they're in the team to play. They weren't. They were on the bench for the most part. So that's where West Brom's season went wrong. It's like the management and Slaven Bilic didn't really get along too well, it seems, and they saw things differently. He was sacked. Sam Allardyce brought in, wasn't able to do the job. It seems like the league has moved on from Sam Allardyce, basically, and he just can't get over this new style of football that these teams are implementing. And West Brom fall by the wayside. They back down to the Championship. So this was another good display by Leeds, and with that win, Leeds impressively finished 9th place. Do you believe this? 9th.
I'll tell you what, I'm happy for them because I like football teams being rewarded for playing football. Do you know what I mean? That's the reward I like. So I like the top teams all play football, but I'd like a team like, say, Leeds that play football and risk playing football, Dominic, in a league where it's hard to get wins. You see a lot of low block teams that do okay and stay up. There's Leeds risking it, playing football, being brave to play football, and getting some reward at the end of the tunnel.
Well said. 9th, just like Sheffield. They would hope they don't do what Sheffield did this season as well. That's something.
I don't think they will. I know.
That's something to mention. But Leeds have done so well against the top 6 oppositions, or the so-called top 6, the Super League clubs. They have done so well against those clubs, and I think that's one of the main reasons why they will be playing Premier League football next season. And I think if they're able to hold on Bielsa to another year, I think, and bring in a few other players and hold on to the squad they have right now, they could be challenging for a Europa League place next season. So, look, Dave, there's a lot more we could touch on in terms of these teams, but we're going to move on. But before we do move on, I just remembered one last thing came to my head. What are your thoughts on this guy, Mateus Pereira from West Brom?
Yeah, I like him, Dominic. I like him.
Would you take him at Liverpool?
No.
Why not?
I just don't think he's at that level. That's simple, straightforward.
I don't think
he's not at Liverpool's level.
You for real?
Yeah, absolutely.
So whose level he's at? Arsenal, maybe?
You're looking at Arsenal Spurs level. Yeah. I'm sorry to delude you, but I'm just telling you what I think. Yeah. So,
no, I'm glad you disagree. I mean, it's good to disagree, but I think he's a top player, and any team.
Would you take him at City?
I would take him. I think he's that good. He just if he works with Pep Guardiola, he would be a lovely squad player to have.
Yeah.
Lovely squad player. Come off the bench, do the thing, start some games, and who knows? But he is a quality player. That I must say. And I think
a lot of players don't like being squad players, though. You know, you want to play football. You want to play football, Dominic.
But still, if you're at City, you win a title at least. You see what I'm saying? You win a title.
You might win a title next week. Yeah, you might.
You'll win a title, most likely. The probability of winning a title.
You'll win some sort of cup.
You win something. You win something. But
you have a good chance.
But the probability of winning a Premier League title over the last 10 years as a Man City player is 50-50. It's 50-50.
Okay, I'll give you that.
5 in 10.
We were the only ones to breed witches in the last 2 or 3 seasons, so I'll give you that.
Yeah,
we're the only ones to live witches. Yeah.
And that's another prediction I did get spot on. I like to take the time to say big up to the people in the chat right now. We have Prime Prodigy in the house. We have B2K Julian. We have Sebastian here. Who else we got? We have Shaka Sani, Noel Naderson in the house. I saw we have Ryan LFC in the house early. I don't know if you're still here. But big up to you. Thanks for coming through. I saw that Doug was in here as well. The boy Thriller from Manila who says, I think Jack Harrison has had a great season as well. That is correct. And I think Leeds are trying to get a deal done for him permanently, around 15 million. And I think City should get it done. But I think we should put on the tax and get 20 mil for him. He's that good. 20 mil. Let's make it a round figure. 20 mil. Thank you very much. Take him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to play hardball out here, man. Alex Jones here says, Dom, why you and Dave like Rafinha to leave Leeds? It's a bit bad mind of you. No. That's the game. That is the game. If the player, and the thing is, players do want to leave too, because players want to win trophies. You see what I'm saying? And it's up to Leeds now to use that money that they get for him, preferably a profit, because they did pay about close to 20 mil or so for him. Excuse me. If they get about 40 because of his stock how high his stock has rose, you could try to get 2 Rafinhas. You see what I'm saying? Or you could pocket 20 and spend 20. So they're winning. Anywhere you put it, they're winning. And there is no guarantee that that said player will do well when he moves on.
Exactly.
It's
about progression as well for those type of players. He wants to. Leeds are good, say mid-table side. What, he 9th? Yeah. He's saying, right, someone comes into me, even say from top 6 area. That's progression for him. He's looking like that. The
other thing too, right? Playing at Leeds and playing at City, which you know, if you play at City, you'll get into the Brazilian team a lot easier than if you're playing at Leeds, because the world would know who you are. The world would be asking questions. Why aren't Rafinha? Why isn't he in the Brazilian team? You see what I'm saying? So that players have ambitions that we may not know of, and we need to actually, realize these things. We need to realize these things and not be like. And I know City does not go around the league and take the best player from every club like Bayern Munich does. But if there's a player out there that City identify would work well at the team, they go out and they get that player, like a Mahrez, a Stones, a Kyle Walker, etc., from a fellow Premier League club, a Raheem Sterling. That one, you may, that one very close.
We got a nice few quid. We got a nice few quid for him, but anyway.
Yeah. So, Dave, since you've talked about 3 matches with me, we almost halfway through. Let's talk about the Liverpool game. I know the people want to hear what you have to say. The people want to hear what I have to say. Let us talk about the Liverpool game.
Right.
Liverpool 2 and Crystal Palace 0. And that was my exact prediction. Liverpool 2, Crystal Palace 0.
It was mine too. I said 2-0 yesterday.
Yep.
Do you know what? We started nervous. First 10, 15. We were nervy. There was 10,000 at Anfield, which helped. It really did help us near the end of the game. But we started nervous. They had a really good chance. Townsend, I think, went through on goal. Should have scored, to be fair. It just zipped past the post. They'd 1 or 2 other half chances. But soon as Mane scored that slide-in goal, I think there was only ever going to be one winner. Dominic, the confidence just went through the team. And we went in 1-0 at half-time. Could have been more. Second half came out, played a bit better. Got the second goal. Deflected shot from Mane again, so he got the double. Salah should have scored. He had 1 or 2 great chances. But to be fair, it was a professional job. Nothing spectacular, but a proper professional job from Liverpool.
I still did not know who scored the goals. Because what happened, I was watching the Liverpool game and I had a problem at work where I'm a mechanic and I work at the airport, so I'm up on the ramp side where all the planes are and everything and whatnot. And one of my company's vehicle had a problem. So I was out trying to get it, going.
Yeah.
And I had to pause the both devices. I was watching the City game, watching the Liverpool game, keeping tabs on what's going on because I want context to when I come and talk, come here to talk. It's like, I was, when I went back, I couldn't get the connection. And when I did get the connection, it was 1-0 up to Liverpool. So once Liverpool scored, my interest now then went on to the other games, the Chelsea, the Leicester games.
Yeah.
Because at that point, Liverpool had put themselves in a strong position to get top 4. And as you guys know, I predicted Liverpool to win their last 3 games. I did not predict it to beat United. But the team have came back. They have crawled out of the mud.
Yeah.
And they have showed us what they're capable of doing, even without the likes of Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, Henderson, etc. I think you guys have done such a great job to come back and clinch third, because after those 6 straight home losses, it looked like it was over for you. Europa League at best.
Yeah, big time.
And you also have to thank the likes of Leicester and Chelsea for not doing well at the back end of the season.
Thank you very much.
You understand?
Yeah.
So 2-0, I think that was a quality prediction, and it turned out to be so, because Crystal Palace is that team where you don't really know what they're going to do. They're like a jack-in-the-box type team. They like that team that is like hiding behind the wall, and when you come around, they scare you, that type of team. So... or they might just not be behind the wall at all. And you're like, oh, whoa, I thought Crystal Palace was going to pop out.
We have history with Crystal Palace going back, way back into the 90s and even late 80s. They beat us in the semi-final of the FA Cup after a replay. And how they beat us, we had a great team at the time. They beat us in that. They drew. We were winning 3-0 at Selhurst Park. That time we were going for the league. And they came back and got a 3-3 draw. There was always, they were the last team to beat us at Anfield before we went on that huge run in April 2017, which only ended in January 2021. So Palace was always in the background going, well, hold on for a second, lads. It's Palace. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. But as you just said, I think Liverpool showed a mentality. Out of the last 10 games, 8 wins, 2 draws, away at Old Trafford, Alisson Becker, 94th minute winning header. I mean, I don't know where that form came from. All I can say is that shows why we were champions last year. That got the bit of the champions, the bit of the champion mentality coming out in those last 10 games. That's it.
Most definitely. Dave, I noticed the people in the chat are talking about what's going on in Ligue 1 right now. It seems like
Lille.
PSG are not gonna win the title because Lille are 2-0 up, and I'm happy because that is very good for football. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh yeah.
And I like that. And just to go into the other leagues, congratulations to Robert Lewandowski for breaking Gerd Muller's record. That's a big achievement.
Wow.
34 league games, and he didn't even play all of them and scored 41 goals. Amazing.
What a player.
Listen, it's like picking low-hanging fruits, Easy.
Yeah, this guy is just... I'll tell you, there's even a rumor that he might be leaving this summer. I don't know whether you've seen that.
He's been linked with a move to Chelsea, and I think if Robert Lewandowski wants to be really be respected by everyone, he leaves, go to Chelsea, and prove everybody else wrong that he could do it anywhere. Yeah. But if he stays in the Bundesliga, I think he will just be seen as a Bundesliga merchant. He does do well in the Champions League. He does do well for Poland at times against the weaker teams. We know this. But if Chelsea wants you, you say, hey man, I just won so many things with I won things with Dortmund. I won things with Bayern. I'm going to take the challenge on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Chelsea do need a striker, don't they? I mean, it hasn't worked out with Werner. It just hasn't worked out with him at all.
Werner is more of a wide man. He's more of a wide man. He's going to pop up with a few goals. He's going to get a few assists. If we're talking the Bundesliga, he could play and score 30. But this is the Premier League. You're not going to get away with it like that.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So him moving to Chelsea would be a big signing. And if, like, say, Harry Kane goes to City, and let's say if Liverpool does manage to sign a few more players, it'll be a great season next year.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Definitely will be a great season next year. So, look, just to go back to the Liverpool to Crystal Palace 0 match, I did not watch this game because all games were being played at the same time, and understandably, I can't watch all. I did attempt to watch some of this, and I did see the early miss by Townsend.
Yeah.
And if he had put that in, it could have been I think if he had put it in, Liverpool would have still came back and won this game.
I might have woke Liverpool up because they started slowly, and if you've known in the last few games they've come back from being 1-0 down on most of them, that's another mentality thing. Like, even 1-0 down at Old Trafford to win 4-2, 1-0 down at West Brom, Alisson Becker, injury time, Titanic header, bottom corner. So, like, that's another part of comebacks. They weren't easy wins. They had to fight for every bloody win. And today was a fight, to be fair. Until the second goal went in, the game wasn't over, because at 1-0 anything can happen. You know what I mean, Dominic?
Yeah. So
I just want to say one thing to you as well. Gini Wijnaldum was last game today. Gini.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of Gini as a player?
I think he is that sort of player who is very, very important to any team that he plays in, even for the Dutch national team while he was at Newcastle as well. And he flies under the radar. He is that unheralded type player that, unless he pops up against Barcelona and scores a brace, what was that, a brace? Unless he does that, no one really gives him the props he deserves, because he works so hard and he plays in such a reserved role, and he doesn't really get the credit he deserves. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and I think any club that gets him, it would be a good addition to the team. He's been linked with a move to Barcelona, but there's a lot of uncertainty over that because Barcelona could sack Koeman anytime. He didn't win the title in his first season. It was there for the taking. He didn't win it. And there's been talks that he could be going to Bayern Munich on a free. If I'm Gini Wijnaldum, I go to Bayern Munich on a free. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. I heard Inter Milan actually about a month ago. Inter Milan were interested. I don't know whether you heard that.
Inter would be a good deal move to, because if you see what Inter has been doing, their recruitment, bringing in experienced players, they won the Scudetto. They could look to do it again. But if I'm Gini Wijnaldum, I'm going to Bayern Munich. I'm winning another title to add to the Liverpool title, and I'm putting myself, to finish off my career strongly with a couple trophies. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in this Liverpool game, Sadio Mane in the 36th minute, 10th goal of the season. That time set up by Firmino for his 7th assist. Mane again, 11th goal set up by Mo Salah for his 5th assist. All goals were scored by Liverpool's famed trio, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, and Mo Salah. Could this be a sign of things to come next season? For the Liverpool fans, they would hope so. They would wish that.
We still have Jota as well, remember?
Yeah,
Jota there. Okay?
It was also nice to see that he's not, out for long term through injury, and he played the game. So look, Dave, it has been somewhat of a, I think even though you came in third, Dave, to be honest, the season has been a lackluster season for Liverpool.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I know I've been positive, but it's time to let the truth out, and it's time to talk some facts. Look, I know I've been saying all good things, but Liverpool, the wheels kind of fell off a bit, and the wheels got put back on at the back end of the season here. Yeah. And a third place finish, respectable in the end, somewhat give the Liverpool fans something to smile about and not be like, oh God, feel disappointed, no Champions League. It does give you something. It does give you something to work with. Players are going to be attracted still, being that they have Champions League football to play. And I think even if you didn't have Champions League football, it would still have been an attractive club. But you don't want to go back down that route where you'll go back in the Europa League and all that. You see what I'm saying? So
I know what you're saying.
I think it was quite an unfortunate season for you guys. You were not very lucky in terms of injuries, while, let's say, Man City weren't as lucky with the injuries, but for some reason, Pep found a way to maneuver through that. And with the squad depth that City has, it was a little bit easier to do.
That's the key. We don't have the squad depth. We don't have the same even squad depth as United.
Yeah, and another thing too, Dave, I think if Klopp had trusted
the centre halves,
you see the trust that he put into Nat Phillips and Reece Williams towards the back end of the season.
We would not have lost as many games. No way.
Yep.
This is exactly what I said the other day, and I did an interview with a Manchester United fan before the United, actually a famous Manchester United fan. He's a singer, Westlife, the Irish band, Westlife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard about
it. A singer with him. But anyway, Brian McFadden, and he was even saying it to me. He could not believe that Klopp would play two most important midfielders, Henderson and Fabinho, at centre half when he has had two young lads that were actual centre halves, and then you miss everything in the midfield. And look how good. I know you're not mad about Thiago, but look how good Thiago has looked in the last 4 or 5 games in his proper position, Dominic.
I've been admitting that Thiago, for most of the season, absolute garbage. I'm not even gonna, use a different word. He wasn't good. But in this run of wins that Liverpool, this nice little run you put on at the back end of the season, he did play well. I am gonna admit that he did play well. He even picked up a goal. He put in, he's been passing the ball well, but without any success at the back end of it. But I have to say that he's looked good, and for you guys, you would want to see that next season. You would want the team to have a good preseason and come again next season, come even harder. And this time, be a bit more pragmatic in your approach and not say, oh, we're going to attack the title. I think Klopp made a wrong approach there. I know he didn't, maybe he literally meant he was going to attack the title, but I think he took the wrong approach. And sometimes when shit begins to hit the fans, you might not really know what to do that exact moment. You might not have an umbrella. You might not have a big jacket to hide under. And I think it kind of went in all over the place for Liverpool.
Can I explain something to you? And this has to do with Man City as well.
Mm-hmm.
You look at there's 2 reasons for Manchester City. The season is we won the league. You were missing your centre half, Laporte. Now, you know how important he was to that system and that team, and you didn't come near us, right?
Mm-hmm.
This season, you had Ruben Diaz, who got the Player of the Year award, stepped up, and you wiped the floor with most teams. A centre half isn't like the old school centre halves back in the 60s and 70s where they were just there for fun. They're just there to stop. Centre halves are becoming like top players on the team, especially if they're captains and especially if they're big characters. If you lose your centre half or 2 or 3 centre halves, you're in trouble. But Liverpool, the problem with Liverpool is they didn't trust the 2 young lads who were centre halves to play and took the middle of the whole team out, which was missing then. They hadn't got no middle in either or defence. So that was Liverpool's fault. Plus, we couldn't score goals. The front 3 dried up. There was a load of reasons, Dominic. A load of reasons.
I think you guys did not learn from our mistake last season. And then it had to be with a bit of cup. Because you guys did the exact same thing we did, Started to play Henderson. And when you saw Henderson and Fabinho at the back, you knew it was over.
You did Fernandinho, remember?
We did Fernandinho and Rodri at the back one game, and we lost the game. I could not listen. We had I'm like Rodri. I like that, I like to see that kind of thing. But still, if it works,
mixing it up, baby.
Yeah, if it works, it looks good. But if it doesn't work, then you're like, oh boy, oh my God, what? Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Basically.
I'm telling you, guys. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button for the stream. Appreciate everybody in here right about now. And it's nice to have Dave on talking about the team that he loves so much, Liverpool, and of course some of the his opponents, Premier League opponents. And Dave is a man who knows the Premier League teams very, very well, and I like that. You're what you call an all-rounder. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're even more of an all-rounder. I mean, you even cover all the bloody European leagues and the South American leagues. I said it on my show today. I said, if you want to watch Dominic during the summer, he's probably even doing the Euros, for God's sake.
Yeah. In the summer, I'll be doing the Gold Cup, the Euros, the Copa America, whatever tournament there is, I do it. Wow. Asian Cup, I talk about it. World Cup, qualifiers, that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm fascinated with that. I just like the behind the scenes, the build up type thing. Not only the main event. I like talking about the build up. You see what I'm saying? The warm up. The warm up and the warm down. That's what it is. But Dave, Liverpool third. How nervous were you about the whole Chelsea and Leicester situation? Because we have so much to talk about. That's the thing. We do have so much to talk about that, we've only been here for an hour. I don't know how much more time it's early in Ireland right now. It's early.
It's 9 o'clock.
Oh, no. It's not that early. It's
early.
Yeah.
We're okay. Just keep talking. We're okay.
Okay. I have to make sure, man. All right.
I'll let you know well in advance anyway.
Yeah, I got to make sure. But look, since we're on the Liverpool Crystal Palace thing, before we talk a bit about the Chelsea-Leicester situation there, Crystal Palace, we did talk about them. They're the 6s and 7s type of team. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But Roy Hodgson, final game for Crystal Palace, ends in a loss. Fittingly, goes back to the club that he was actually probably the worst Liverpool manager of all time. Right? Am I right with that one?
Well, he was only there for half a season, but
But still.
Circumstances, though, Dominic. He was there when we did those terrible cowboy owners, Hicks and Gillette. The team he had was an embarrassment. So it wasn't all down to him. I think he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, type of thing. You know what I mean? So listen, he's a great football man, top football man. He's been there, done that. I'm not going to slag him. I think he was just the wrong man for the job at Liverpool, but a top man. He's retiring. He knows the game inside out. I think he even worked for UEFA in Switzerland. So good luck, whatever you want to do going forward. You probably see him on Sky Sports or something soon doing a bit of punditry.
Yep. So all the best to Grandpa Hodgson, and we wish him all the best. What do you think is to come for Crystal Palace, though?
I think Crystal Palace could get smashed. The Palace could smash. Or Crystal Palace could smash. I think, they could be in a relegation. They're that close. As you said, they're a hot and cold team, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're a hot and cold team. They're like a glass. They're like a cup that's full up, and you don't know whether to touch it or not if it's hot or cold.
They made a glass. Listen, they are made of, with a house that's made of glass.
They're crystal.
Exactly. With a house that's made of glass. Anything could happen at any given time. It could be destroyed by fire. If it gets too hot and then it rains after, it would shatter into pieces.
Yeah.
If you throw stones at it could shatter. If it gets too cold, it might shatter. So it's a very, very tricky team. And I think them coming in about 14th. I did predict them to come in 13th. They placed 14th. They could be in trouble of getting relegated next season because if you saw what happened when Frank de Boer was at the club, he lost the first 7 games or first 6 games, and Roy Hodgson had to come in and rescue the team. And with Roy Hodgson leaving, and if you have a player like a manager like Frank Lampard potentially coming in, I heard that the Barnsley manager, Valerian Ismail, I think his name is, he could be coming in, and he's pretty decent. He could be the manager. But any manager that comes in, it would be a very, very tricky job to take up. So, guys, keep an eye on Crystal Palace for the summer window and for next season. But they finished 14th. Liverpool finished 3rd. We know we could stay here and we could talk all day about Liverpool. But Dave, just to summarize and make a conclusion on your season. How do you feel getting 3rd after failing to defend the title?
Listen, we were top at Christmas, right? We had our turkey dinner at Christmas. We ate it. We were stuffed in January, basically. We were stuffed, and we went downhill. February was a disaster of a month. March wasn't much better. We picked up late April. If you would have told me even 4 weeks ago that Liverpool would finish third, I would have said you were dreaming. You were in dreamland. There was no chance. Even Europa League, as you said earlier, was a possibility that wasn't going to happen. Even though I don't like the Europa League, it would have been an absolute disaster. The finish in the Europa League, because it's a nightmare tournament to get out of. But we were one result away from a disaster of a season out of those last 10 games. We got 8 wins, 2 draws. But if we would have lost any of those games, which West Brom you can point back to all you want, but that 94th minute Titanic header, epic header by our goalkeeper, Alisson. I said it on the night. That goal will only mean something and become as epic and historical if we can finish in the top 4. And we have.
That's my goal of the season. No debate.
Christ.
My goal of the season.
Goal of the century.
Goal of the season in terms of context. Forget about all the flashy and the Rabona and the backflips and the worldies. Forget about all of that. That goal, in the circumstances of the game and everything, that goal is the goal of the season.
It's basically, Alisson, you'll never see the likes of it again. That's what it was, even though we see the likes of it again. But it was an Aguero moment. I know you won the league with that one. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was amazing.
This was big, This was big in the context, as you said, for Liverpool either having a disaster or having some sort of a life buoy thrown at them. And that was the life buoy, wasn't it?
That was amazing. I think Alisson is the one to be to thank for that third place. But Dave, look, we're gonna talk about because I know you gotta go soon.
No, we're okay for a while. Keep going.
Okay. All right. But we've been doing very well. Just so you know, we've been doing very, very well. So there's a few games that we could just touch on. We could spend 5 minutes tops on these ones. Arsenal, I predicted Arsenal to win 3-1 against Brighton. They ended up winning 2-0, and that's a very, very good performance.
That was a good win, yeah.
I saw Nicola Pepe score 2 goals, and he ended up scoring 10 goals this season, and that's not bad. I was actually talking about him getting to the 10-goal mark, and it will do a whole lot of good for his confidence to go with a few assists.
He is flattered to deceive, though, isn't he?
Well, look, the money that he came in for, Dave, big expectations. And as you say, he has flattered to deceive, and it's like you expect more. 1 Premier League assist, 10 goals. 7 assists, 10 goals, not bad. But
it's not good.
I think he's headed in the right direction. I got to give him that. You got to give him that. Big win against Brighton, who just picked up a 3-2 win against Man City. Yeah. So maybe they hung over from partying or after that win against City. So that is also something to make note of. That was a remarkable comeback from being 2-0 down, by the way, from Brighton. And I will hear your thoughts on them soon. But Arsenal did everything they needed to do to get that 7th place spot. But it's because of the Leicester Tottenham result that ended up pushing them back in 8th. And I think deservedly, they do not get a European spot. Because I think they would just need to go and focus on the league next season.
Exactly. It actually works in their favor, not getting Europe in the position they're in. Yeah, because they can just concentrate on their domestic football, get up that league table, maybe do well in a domestic league cup or FA Cup and just go. Sometimes it actually is a help. Sometimes it's a burden getting into Europe. We've seen it in especially the Europa League, Dominic. Yeah. There's a lot of games to play. It's a tough
Thursdays, man.
Competition.
Thursdays, and there's like an extra round and everything. So
and what's this Europa Conference League? What is that all about?
Well,
that's even
money grab, bro. Money grab, Dave. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you have 2 successful channels, you make a 3rd and a 4th, and you put content.
But they're not as good. They're not as good as the first one, are they?
You don't really put too much time into them, and little money grab by UEFA. But it's also a way of allowing teams that cannot get into Europa League and Champions League, giving them a way to actually participate in a European competition, to have some of the money trickle down to them. You see what I'm saying? That will in turn strengthen their leagues and strengthen the club. And I think the winner of the Europa Conference League does get into the Europa League the following season if they fail through the,
something like that.
So, so there are
it's an incentive. It's an incentive, basically.
There are pros and there are cons. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like there's good and there's bad, basically. But Arsenal, it's been their worst season ever if you really think about it. The most losses ever in a league campaign. The first time in 25 years that they don't qualify for Europe. They entrusted a younger manager in Mikel Arteta after Wenger was sacked. Arsenal fans probably wish they never called for Wenger to be sacked. Brought in Unai Emery, who is a quality manager. It never really worked out. They called for him to get sacked as well. And now you have Arteta, who give them the FA Cup. I predicted Arsenal to come in fourth. They look good at times, but they just fell by the wayside. And I think Arteta, it's a tough job having a squad that with the players that you have in the squad and you don't really want them, a Kolasinac, a Mustafi, Socrates, a Guendouzi. There's so many of them, man. And Ozil. There's so many. Basically, you could call them cancers in the club.
Viruses.
Let me be a little bit lighter and say viruses. Yeah,
that's bad enough. The problem is the virus. The problem with the virus is it can spread throughout the club, and I think that's why I'm calling it a virus. It did.
Yeah.
You have bad behaviour. You've got bad attitudes. It's a virus, and that's a bad virus to have in any club because it disrupts the whole bloody group.
So it will be interesting to see if Kroenke, he doesn't want to sell the club. If Stan Kroenke say, hey, Arteta, 200 million purse, I'm giving this to you. Let's make Arsenal great again and see what he could actually get out of Arsenal. You see what I'm saying? That would be very interesting for the players to come in, not to focus on any European football, just the league, week after week, and see if they could get Arsenal back in the top four again. That's what I see could actually happen for Arsenal.
Can you see him throwing 200 million at them? Can you see them? I can't see it.
You never know, That's the thing. You never know. Because you never know. Maybe not 200, but maybe like a 150. You never know. But let's see.
I mean, they've got a beautiful stadium. They're in London. They are a big name in football. I mean, Arsenal, the Invincibles and all that, and Wenger, and, historically, big club. So the fan base is there. They've got everything in situ. Also, as you said, they need a bit of an investment in the players, a bit more quality being brought in. And I think, as you say, no European football, just concentrate in the league, moving up the tables, and maybe they'll have a chance of doing something next season.
Definitely. And as Thriller, who's an Arsenal fan, one of my very
Thriller from Manila,
devout supporter, Thriller. He's an Arsenal fan. He says, I wish Daniel Ek was given an opportunity. He's the owner of
Spotify,
yeah. It would have been a
music to my ears.
Yeah. it would be a nice thing if some fresh owners, fresh mentality come in, definitely. Because we've seen Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe, young Martinelli, and these guys have looked very, very well, very good this season. And I think with an addition of a few more quality players that Arsenal could be competing at least for top 6 once again next season.
Yeah.
But look, it's been a failed season for Arsenal, nevertheless. I think they should hold on to Mikel Arteta regardless to...
Give him another season.
Give him another season. Give him another transfer window. And if like at Christmas he ain't doing nothing, then you can sack him. But right now, for now, give him another season.
Yeah.
Arsenal finished behind Spurs. That won't feel good for them at all. But it's still, they finish off the season in a respectable way. Beating Brighton 2-0. Your thoughts on Brighton before we move on. Brighton, look, before you give your thoughts on Brighton, Brighton, I think I call them the mini Man City because they finished 16th. They have been finishing 16th, 17th, 15th every season since they were first promoted. But they could never, they play such attractive football, but they cannot get the results. They are the draw kings of the league, 14 draws. Only Fulham came close with 13. And if they converted at least 7 of those into wins, they could have been way higher up the table.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts?
Well, I think the only thing that they've got on Man City, similar to Man City, is that they wear blue. I mean, there's nothing else that they have. But, I mean, Lewis Dunk, I like him, that centre-half Dunk. I think he can go places. He's a proper centre-half. They're a good team to watch, as you said. They're exciting. They're an exciting team to watch. But, I mean, it's a good season for Brighton. As all these teams I said earlier, like Burnley, for them to finish, safe, fairly safe, and safe for a while, and be in the Premier League again, going again next year, beating City near the tail end of it.
Yeah.
Beating us. They beat us bloody 1-0 in Anfield.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a nice little give you take me up for their fans. It doesn't happen regularly. So they've been okay, Dominic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't expect much more from them. That's the thing.
But they are a very ambitious team. They have been doing some good recruitment. And if they continue the work they have put in, they continue to build on that, you could see them being closer to the middle of the table.
Mid-table, yeah. Mid-table would be unbelievable for them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Graham Potter, quality manager as well. Quality manager. He deserves a lot more credit. But look, Dave, we're going to move right on from that one. We don't want to be too long on that. And we have one that won't take a long time either. West Ham versus Southampton, where I predicted West Ham to beat Southampton 3-2. I expected a thriller, but it ended in a 3-0 win for West Ham United. That's a quality victory for
I'll tell you what, David Moyes deserves a statue, doesn't he? I mean, it's a statue outside West Ham's ground because, I mean, they were in the top 4. There was an outside chance a few games ago and I was worried. I was watching them. I was watching West Ham as much as I was watching Leicester and Chelsea, and they just fell away. We beat them home and away, actually, believe it or not. We did a double over West Ham, which helped us. Yeah. And but it's still a good season. What is it, 6th? They finished 6th.
Yeah, they actually, with Leicester winning the FA Cup, because this was a whole conundrum, right? With, I think, 6th, if, for example, let's say a top 4 team also wins the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Fifth gets group stage, and I think 6th go into the playoffs, the qualifiers for the Europa League.
Yeah.
But with Leicester coming in 5th and also winning the FA Cup means that Leicester gets a direct spot from being an FA Cup winner. And, West Ham
by default.
Yeah.
West Ham goes straight in.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
So it's a great achievement for a solid season for West Ham, and they looked a proper team. They looked a proper Europa League team because they got the depth. They got the squad depth, bringing in Jesse Lingard, who they should actually make permanent. They have Pablo Fornals, who scored 2 of the 3 goals. He scored in the 38th minute.
Sancho.
Yeah. And
what a player he was.
33rd. Who you said?
Sancho.
No, Pablo Fornals.
Yeah, but for West Ham, I'm talking about one of their players. Sancho. Is his name Sancho? I think he's a Czech international. He scored a lot of goals for them.
Shusek.
Suchek. You want to call him Sancho?
Yeah.
Suchek. Sancho. Yeah, or Suchek. What a player he was.
Yeah, Shusek. So
Suchek.
The thing is, when you look at their squad, guys like Shusek, Kufal, who did set up one of these goals, he set up the Pablo Fornals goal. 7 assists from a right back. I think that's more than Trent this season, which is crazy. Or just about probably the same or more. So with Kufal picking up 7 assists and then Pablo Fornals setting up the goal for Declan Rice, 3-0. A quality performance there to end off the season. Quality work by David Moyes all season. And for them to finish top 6 is just testament of all of that. But when you look around the team, you have Antonio, you have Bowen, you have Ben Rama. This team has some quality to it. And if they could add to that next season, I think they could have a really nice season in the Europa League to go with their Premier League season. And hopefully for them, they do not get distracted by the European football and fall by the wayside.
That's the problem, Dominic. That's going to be a test for them, that Europa League. I'm telling you right now. That's the test. Thursday night, Sunday. Definitely. Thursday night, Sunday. You gotta get more players into your squad.
I think it's good for the fans. I think the fans would welcome that, and they would just relish next season being able to have European nights and have Premier League nights, away games and everything. And, you know, they deserve it. They probably deserve more, but I think they'll settle for that. But when I say they deserve more, it has to come at some expense. And whose expense would it come at? Would it be Chelsea? Would it be Liverpool? You know, so, you know what I mean? That's a whole nother topic. As for Southampton, who lost their final game this season, I think, you know, they still have a lot of work to do. And it's
I think they could be in trouble next season, Dominic. I'd fear for Southampton next year. Actually,
if they're not careful, if they manage to hold on to Danny Ings and they manage to hold on to their better players and still do some good scouting and bring in some quality ones as well, I think they'll be all right. There's a few teams who are looking like they could be in trouble. A Wolves, Crystal Palace, a Southampton. You have Norwich coming up. You have Watford coming up. So for those places down at the bottom, it would be stiff competition. Let's just say that. Let us just say that. But
it's a mini league in itself. That bottom six is like a mini league, basically.
Definitely. But not much more to add here for Southampton. They started well, and the season has been terrible. The worst team in 2021. But I think they will stick with Hassan Hutel, and they will try to build on what they have been accomplishing lately. But what about Southampton getting 9-0 the last two seasons? Are you next up to give him 9? Liverpool 9, Southampton 0.
I don't know. Do you know what? For a team to be getting beaten 9-0 twice and still stay up, you know what I mean? They'll take being beaten 9-0 next year if they stay up. So it doesn't matter. That's only a one-off game, and it can affect your confidence. But it obviously hasn't affected their confidence too much in the last two seasons. So I wouldn't read a huge amount into it.
Definitely. But Dave, we're going to move on from this one. We have a lot to talk about. And we're doing pretty well. We only an hour 22 minutes. I don't plan to go more than 2 hours anyways. And we are getting there. We are getting into the last 3 games is where, you know, it was some big things at stake. City won their game, of course. We'll talk a little bit about that. But before that, let's talk about Wolves versus Manchester United, where that game finished 2-1. And my prediction, 2-1.
There you go.
Another one. But before we do that, how's everybody in the chat feeling? How's everybody doing? Big up to the boy AD744 Dupe, who says Napoli are wastemans, which means that if I check out the Serie A right now, we could see what's going on here. It seems like Napoli allowed Juventus back in the top 4, you know.
Yep, that's what it looks like. Oh, no.
Jesus. Juventus are battering Bologna 4-0. And I predicted this. I spoke about Atalanta kind of allowing in AC Milan to beat them so that it could give Juventus like a worse chance of getting in the top 4. But then Napoli has gone and they messing up. It's 1-1. It's not over yet. They need a goal. If Napoli scores, it means that Juventus in the Europa League next season.
With West Ham.
I would listen. I would love to see Juventus
West
in the
Ham.
Europa League. Juventus in the Europa League. So that's another thing. So guys, keep your eyes peeled on that game.
What's the story with Lille?
Yeah, I'm about to check that out right now.
Oh yeah, that's the big one. That's a big one.
I think they actually won it. Let me search Lille.
They were winning 2-0, weren't they?
And 70 minutes. 2-0, still 2-0. So it seems like it's gonna happen.
Oh, good. That's good news.
Yeah, congratulations to
That's
Lille.
good news.
But
Good
Dave,
news.
Going back to the United, I've been calling United frauds all season, and I do think they're frauds. We should call the hotline and report them for being a fraudulent club. They beat they beat Wolves 2-1 as expected, and in this game we had a goal by Anthony Ilinga, first Premier League goal ever, first goal of the season.
I seen it. It was a good finish actually.
A youngster, 19-year-old Swede. Came up from the under 23s, and I did see him in a game. He did play in the Leicester City loss. I remember him playing in that game, if I'm not mistaken. And he was set up by Dan James, so it seems like United put out the backup brigade in this game. They don't want to risk anything for the Europa League final against Villarreal. And then Nelson Semedo equalized, and then a seemingly forgotten man, Juan Mata, actually scored.
Penalty,
yeah. He scored in the 45th minute. That's his first goal of the season. United went on to win the game 2-1. I did see Adama Traore picking up an injury in this game, and a few guys from the academy, Mejbri, Showtire, and Fish, making their debuts or making appearances off the bench. So this is something worthy. But the fact that United are playing these guys means that they had nothing to play for. Basically, they had come in second. No one remembers second, by the way. If you get silver, no one remembers silver. So just want to put that out there. And I think United could have actually pushed City towards the end, something they failed to do. What you think?
No, I don't even think they could have. I think they're in a false position, Dominic.
Look.
I didn't rate United at the start of the season. You know what I mean? I'm looking at their players. Now they've missed Maguire in the last 2 or 3 games, but I don't know what to think of United. I really don't. I can't see them winning the league anytime soon, to be fair. I can't see it. You're calling them frauds. Fraudiolas, I don't know what you want to call them, but
I can't see it either.
Yeah, I can't see it. I
can't see it. I really can't see it. But
I can't see it either.
Look, Nuno Espírito Santo, final game for Wolves. How shocked were you about that whole news?
I heard today he was sacked, by the way, by mutual consent. Did you hear that? He didn't leave on his own accord, that he was called in and he was actually sacked.
That doesn't make any sense. You know why?
Right.
I think what Nuno has done for Wolves. For them to sack him, that would be ungrateful, right? And if you watched what Nuno did with Wolves, he made them into a Portuguese outfit.
Yeah. He even wore a Portuguese jersey.
Exactly. So I think what Wolves have been doing too with the whole Portuguese Mexico thing, they have been their second and third kits have been mirroring the third kits and the away kits of Mexico and Portugal and things like that.
It was a marketing ploy.
Yeah, which is not a bad marketing ploy. But if you saw, this club became part of Nuno's DNA. It became a Portuguese club where Wolves are now forced. They have to absolutely bring in another Portuguese club coach, or else the team is doomed. I think Wolves are in trouble next season.
Yeah, big time.
They're in trouble.
Yeah. The Wolves, I don't think the Wolves will be howling next summer.
Unless Raul Jimenez is fit again and he's actually playing well. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was a very contrasting season comparing to the first 2 seasons that they had when they came back to the Premier League. Wolves were just they had their moments, but they were just like a team that you didn't even realize they were in the league this season.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
They haven't scored enough goals. I think that was their problem. Not enough goals.
I mean, with Jimenez being out and they lost Jota to Liverpool, of course, which I was delighted. But you lose those 2 players.
Yeah.
But Adama Traore hasn't done it, Dominic. Look at his goals record. It's just, I think he's more interested in lifting weights. And then you have, you know what I mean? And even Neto. Has been in and out. And I do like Neto, to be fair. I'd actually like him at Liverpool. I think he's a quality player, similar to Jota. And I think he'd do a job for Liverpool.
I like
you
Neto too. Neto could do well at another club. I think Neto might move on too. A few players might move on with Nuno actually leaving the club if you see what's going on here.
Yeah.
So look, just to wrap this one up, United, they come in second once again, and I don't know how I don't think they would be happy. They cannot feel comfortable coming in second behind Man City for the 5th time in the last 10 seasons. They cannot feel good about that.
Which is good.
It hurt. No, yeah, it's very good.
Of course it hurt. But what I'm saying to you is United, they've Europa League. It's a Wednesday night against Villarreal. I'll tell you what, Villarreal may be looking at that game. United let in goals now, but they're missing Maguire. I'll tell you, that's not a foregone conclusion, that bloody game. Unai Emery.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that could be an interesting final.
Listen, don't trust Unai Emery. Look, if your girl is the Europa League, don't trust Unai Emery around your girl.
Remember him with Sevilla?
Exactly.
They used to win it every bloody year.
Exactly. So
interesting.
Wait, when Sevilla beat you in the Europa League final, right?
Yeah.
It was him.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He is such a bloody record. I think it was 3 in a row. Ridiculous record.
He did.
Yeah.
But he did lose the last one with Arsenal, so yeah, that one is worth mentioning. But look, we won't spend any more time talking about United. Let them keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the club. Let them, they sign up Cavani for another year. Let them do that. Let them do these things. They wanna sign players that everyone else is linked to. Let them do these things. You see what I'm saying? And keep coming in 3rd and 4th and 5th and 2nd and these things. You know what I'm saying? So, look, we got 3 more games to talk about, Dave. And I have another guest. Your buddy.
Following you around, Dave.
What the hell?
Yeah.
How are you, Dominic? You all right?
Yeah.
Your volume's a little high, is it?
You're coming in real hot there, Doug.
There's a volume, but very loud.
Yeah, just a bit.
For the headset.
Give me a minute. Is that any better?
1, 2, testing. Turn it down a little. The volume of the headset. The microphone volume. Say something.
You hear me?
Yeah, that's much better.
Bit better, yeah.
Yeah, that's much better. You came in very excited there. Very, very.
Apologies.
Yeah.
You're still loud. It's still loud.
So maybe what you could do, take the headpiece and bring it down a bit. The mouthpiece.
Down a bit.
The mouthpiece.
It's right down here.
Is that any better? Better?
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better. How are you feeling, Doug?
Glad to have got 3rd, but I'll be honest, it has been up and down season. It's I think unlike yourselves, I think ourselves and you are the only team to have finished in the top 4 after being champions since the Fergie's retirement. So that's a good way. Also, another wee stat: Manchester City and Liverpool have accumulated 265 points across the last 3 seasons.
It has been a good last 3 seasons, that 97, 98 point season. You get in 99, we get in 80, 82. And us winning the league, you coming in, I don't think you guys did well enough. 69 points is not good enough this season at all. You guys should be embarrassed for getting 69 points.
Yeah, I would agree. But the fact is that we've, I know we finished 3rd, but it's not good enough. But what I will say, I had 4 perfect scores this weekend, which is probably the highest I've had this season. I put Villa to beat Chelsea 2-1. I had Fulham Newcastle as a 2-0 win for Newcastle. I had Sheffield United to beat Burnley, and I had Man United to beat Wolves.
Yeah, I had a couple perfect scores too. This is one of my best weeks in terms of prediction. You know what I mean? I had like
me too.
I had 7 correct predictions. You know what I mean? I see Thriller saying Ireland and Scotland in the house, and you could throw St. Vincent in the house. You know, because even though I'm not
St. Patrick, St. Vincent.
Even though I'm not coming directly from St. Vincent, I still represent, you know what I'm saying? So, guys, look, since I have you guys here, we talk about the last 3 matches, and we call it a day. We have about, let's say, 25 minutes, the most. I want to do that in. I don't want to go more than 2 hours today. It's the grand finale. We have touched on everything, and we won't leave any stones unturned, but there are future videos that we could link up in and we could have discussions. But, you know, today's a day where we're relieved that the season, even though we love football, I'm so relieved that it's over. You know what I mean? Like, no, I could do whatever I want. If I don't want to stream this week, I'm not streaming this week. You see? So It is what it is. So look, let's talk a bit about Leicester Tottenham. What the hell happened there?
Do you know I had 2 televisions on. My main television was Liverpool Palace, and I had my other television in the middle room, Leicester City and Spurs, because I thought that would be the game. I had, even though I knew Villa would do something to Chelsea, I thought it might have been a draw, but it was the Leicester were closer to us, both on 66 points, so my eyes were beaded on that. And when Leicester scored early on, Vardy penalty, I says, "Oh, here we go. They're gonna win this, handy enough." Even they went 1-1. Kane, who eventually got the golden boot, by the way, with that goal, and then Vardy again penalty, and there was only going to be one winner. Where the hell did those four goals from Spurs come from? I don't know.
So I was watching a City game because it doesn't matter what else is happening. My main on my phone that has the good service, I'm watching City. Anything else, I don't care. Even if it was a dead rubber, I'm watching City still, right? So I'm keeping tabs on what's happening with the Leicester game. I'm like, whoa, okay, go back to the game here, 4-2, just to make sure I don't make any mistakes. Vardy score. So I'm like, okay, so Leicester are winning. And then, you know, at that point, Liverpool was still 0-0. And then I think Chelsea was still 0-0 at that point. And then later on, Villa was in the lead. And I'm like, look, it's all lining up perfectly right now for Leicester because Chelsea are losing their game, which we're going to talk about soon. And then Harry Kane equalized. I'm like, okay, back poised again, level. But then Jamie Vardy gets a second penalty, and that was Jamie Vardy looking for that, hugging up the player. That should have never been a penalty, in my opinion. But anyways, he got lucky and he got it. 52nd minute penalty. I'm like, all Leicester need to do is manage the game and win the game, and that's it. That's all. Champions League, along with the FA Cup title, and they could tell Chelsea to go stick it. You see what I'm saying? But what happened after that? I need an explanation. They got
bailed out.
No, wait. Chelsea got bailed out.
Chelsea were. I mean, we'll obviously come on to the Chelsea game, but yeah, this result. I saw this as a very banana skin from the very, very beginning of the week. I said that Spurs have nothing to play for. All the pressure will be on Leicester, and I don't think the loss of Wesley Fofana helped. He had to go off injured, and I think they were missing Johnny Evans as well. You know, that's 2 key players missing. And the other thing is, I think he played Mendy instead of Ndidi, which baffled me to begin with. But and then obviously Ndidi comes on, but it's really, really sad that they've actually missed out.
Wait, Doug, wait. Maybe Brendan Rodgers made the wrong call here when he played Mendy ahead of Wes Morgan. I think he probably pushed Ndidi back in defense, who started the game, and played Mendy where Ndidi was playing in the holding midfield position. The master stroke would have been to bring Wes Morgan on, bring him in the thick of things, and whatever happens. Morgan goes out because he's leaving the club. He goes out on a high, or he goes out trying. And what ends up happening, Morgan does not make a final appearance here. for Leicester in front of the fans. You see what I'm saying? And I think he got it wrong with that one. You see there.
Absolutely.
He got it wrong. But
he did.
Look, Doug, I don't know what happened here because I didn't watch the game. I was trying to tune in. I couldn't get to tune in. But the Schmeichel own goal that probably hit the post and came back off or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But
I was
Gareth
actually
Bale.
Yeah, I was actually listening to this game on the TalkSport. I was actually listening to this game on TalkSport, and what the commentators were actually saying is that Leicester were all over Tottenham to begin with, and then obviously the Spurs equalised through Harry Kane, and then a power shift sort of happened. Spurs were all over Leicester, and then Leicester got that debatable penalty. Now, for me, that's not a penalty. I think Vardy is conned one there for sure. But Davinson Sanchez, honestly, I hope Tottenham get rid of this guy. He is awful defensively.
I hope they keep him.
Look,
I just thought that the OG just took the stuffing out of Leicester, and Bale scoring 2 on his farewell appearance for Spurs. I think he's going to go back to Real Madrid.
Well, we do not know that yet, because with performances like this, I think it would be ideal to keep Gareth Bale. With Kane possibly leaving, I think it's ideal to keep a talismanic player around your team like Gareth Bale. And you did mention Tottenham did not have anything to play for. They had something to play for, whereas if they had won their game and West Ham lost their game, Tottenham would have got that Europa League spot. But because both Tottenham and West Ham won their game, Tottenham are now, playing in the Conference League. So Tottenham will be the first Premier League team to take part in the Europa Conference League. Congratulations, Tottenham.
Sums up their season.
Tottenham, you played yourself. You played yourself, Tottenham. So they sacked Mourinho. Just to summarize their whole season. They look good. They look good pragmatically under Mourinho. I think they were top of the table one time. Many teams were, but it's the fact that they were top of the table, and that was a very, very good achievement. And we thought that something could finally happen. We thought that they could have won a trophy in the League Cup. We thought that they could have won the Europa League. They were actually favorites there at one time, but then they go empty-handed again. And Harry Kane must be a frustrated figure in that he's been in the news big time. He wants to leave the club. I think, and Fabrizio Romano, once you hear Fabrizio Romano talking about something, there's a lot of truth to it. He's saying that Man City are in for this guy. So if City are in for this guy, it means that it might just happen. So what would Tottenham look like next season? They would need to definitely revamp their team. You spoke about Davinson Sanchez, him being so inept as a defender. I think this dude was so promising at Ajax when I first saw him in 2016-17, and he just regressed. Eric Dyer, we know, diabolical. We know that. Sergio Reguilón was recently exposed, not really that good defensively. Aurier, we know this whole team is a mess right now in terms of them being a competitive team when you're talking about the teams above them. Sacking Pochettino may not have been the right decision. Who knows? You see what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I've got a question for you, Dominic. See if you get Kane, would you give them Jesus?
We get Kane, we give them money. That's it. They get money, and we get the league again. You could listen. Let me make a statement right now. Harry Kane signs for Man City. It's over.
Wrong. I'm gonna come back at you now.
Let me tell you why it's over, right? The amount of chances that Man City create, the amount of shots that City take every single game. If you had somebody as clinical as Harry Kane is very clinical, This guy is very clinical. And if you have a more clinical striker up top, we win majority of the games, like we have done this season. We will be second to none. You saw what look at what Aguero, we will get to Aguero, but what Aguero did today is the best of Aguero. The finishing was sublime. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, God damn. The first goal when he put it around the freaking, I'm like, how the hell did he do that? I'm like, how?
Maybe Aguero goes to Spurs.
And then he's going to Barcelona. He's going to Barcelona. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Barca.
That one is happening. He's gonna rub shoulders with Messi.
What a player he was.
Yeah, and then the crossing by Fernandinho and the header. It's like, God damn. And you get Harry Kane on these. You know how good Harry Kane is with his head. Penalties would now be scored every time. You see what I'm saying? So look, man. Look, we will get to the City thing, but I'm just saying we're talking about Tottenham. We have a history where we have signed players from Tottenham, latest being Kyle Walker, and it could be a possibility that we will sign Harry Kane for whatever it costs. Even if a player who we don't know about right now is thrown into the deal or whatnot, City has many loanees out on many players out. Very good ones as well that plays for Girona, and you could take one of these guys and bam, here you go. So I think Tottenham will be an interesting one for Tottenham next season.
Do you think Son will stay, Dave and Dom?
That's another
thing.
I'll
tell you what, I'd like Son at Liverpool.
Anyone would love Son.
I think he is, I mean, you were talking about Kane there being clinical. He's so clinical, he's Dr. Kane. So, but Son for me, yeah. But Son for me, but you lose your talisman, you lose your best player, you lose most of your goals. All the other players are looking around in the dressing room, going, "Uh-oh, we're going to go downhill here. We're going to regress. We're going to regress even further than where we were from a Champions League final in 2019 to a Europa Conference League place." Let's be real here.
Exactly.
Let's be real.
Like, does Kane want to really play in the Europa Conference League? He's gonna score 4 every game, basically. You see what I'm saying? But guys, we don't want to be too long. Leicester, have they bottled? How come they bottled it? 2 years in a row. I know, Doug. I know you're itching to say something, but it's a respectable season. It's successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
You won the FA Cup. You won. You placed 5th. You're in the Europa League. But still, man, last season they should have been in the Champions League. This season, the same. How are you bottling it on the final day, 2 seasons in a row? Come on, thoughts.
Do you know the thing is they were in the top 4 until match week 37, and they dropped out of it. There was no way back after that. The big one was the Chelsea defeat. I think if they had won that, then I think they would probably be guaranteed. Yeah.
Needed a draw.
Yeah.
I think with a draw today, they still get 5th because Chelsea has a better goal difference. But the thing is, the fact that Chelsea are over there doing you a favor by losing. Yeah. And you were winning. You were winning the game. You were winning twice. You were up 1-0, and then you were up 2-1, and to come back and not even get a drop, but to get battered 4-2.
I think the saying is Brendan Rodgers' teams always starts really well and then runs out of steam when it matters.
So, guys, it's official. Lille are the champions of France 2020-2021.
Congratulations, Lille. Congratulations.
Wow. That's good. That's good news football. That's a good news football story right there.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Lille.
Wow. That guy, Sven Botman, apparently was almost player of the season. He's been unbelievable for Lille.
I tell you, someone else to watch out for is that 35-year-old striker Burak Yilmaz. He's going to be. He is going to be some. He's going to be really good for Turkey at the Euros. I can tell you that.
Burak Yilmaz is a legend, man. Also, you have to mention Jonathan David, brought in the Canadian international. Yeah. Brought in for big money from Ghent. I think Ghent.
Belgian club, yeah.
Yeah,
Ghent, yeah.
Yeah. And brought in for big money, and he has been a success. We also have to commend guys like Jonathan Ikone and Jonathan Bamba. These guys, one of them recently got called up for the French national team over the success that Lille has been having. And also, you have to talk about Renato Sanchez.
Yeah.
Renato Sanchez revitalizing his career. You got to talk about Timothy Weah. And this is just off the top. These are just players that I remember. A player that you have to also mention is their goalkeeper, Marc Maignan, who is who has background from French Guyana. That French Guyana, Suriname, and English Guyana from the South America there. So
it's a nice way to end the season for them, because I believe that their manager Gaultier, I think he's about to be the new Nice manager. So it's a fitting way for him to go out, win the title with Lille.
I was actually going to talk about that. What are your thoughts on that, though? You win the title, you going into the Champions League, and then you go to Nice, though, like.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a gentleman's agreement there or something. Maybe there's been something agreed for a wee while, but yeah, it's a bit. I don't like that.
It's not very Nice anyway.
Yeah, it's not Nice. It's not Nice at all. It is not Nice.
Trilla from Manila put something in there if you look.
Oh no!
And you could also say Nice breast and Lille breast as well. You know, but this gotta happen more often next season, guys. Triple D. Triple D. I didn't realize it, I didn't realize Dave, Dom, and Doug. I didn't realize this. I really didn't. I'm telling you. Just realize everyone on the panel names start with a D. Dominic, Dave, and Doug. This could be the start of a Triple D football podcast. Oh, man. You're giving us more work to do. There's so much to cover already. So, guys in the chat, thank you very much. Make sure you guys smash your thumbs up button. Guys, we're going to move on to the next game. We have 2 more to do and finish off today's live stream, which has been very fluid and very fun. And I do appreciate Doug for staying, Dave for staying on this long, and do appreciate Doug for jumping on. Doug would have been on from the beginning, but Doug was hanging out with his fiance, which is the right thing to do. I must say that. And when I'm done, I have to go and hang out with my wife so I could make things a bit equal. You see what I'm saying? Because she has that on her mind, that I have to go and hang out with her when I'm done. So look, let's talk about, I know Leicester. It's been a great season. The fact that they won the FA Cup, they'll be playing Europa League again. And, they could look and say, listen, we did it twice. We messed up twice, but we won the FA Cup. Next season, we want to get Champions League or even push for the title, because they were Premier League champions a few years ago. The Community Shield will be between Leicester and Manchester City. So that's another thing they could look forward to as well. So just had to mention that. Aston Villa beating Chelsea. Villa has been so good this season. You got to give it to Dean Smith. You got to give it to, what's his name there? John Terry, the backroom staff. You got to give it to the players, man. Grealish, Ollie Watkins, big success. Traore, all new players. Watkins, Traore, big success. El Ghazi, guys like Trezeguet, who injured. You know what I mean? You got to give it to McGinn. You see what I'm saying? Who else? Emi Martinez, who is one of the signings of the season. Martinez.
Goalkeeper, yeah.
He is one of the big reasons why Villa have done so well this season.
Cash.
Matt Cash, Target, big guys. This team survived on the last match the last season, 35 points. And for them to go from 35 points all the way to 11th with 55, 20 more than last season, that's a big achievement.
Yeah.
That's a huge achievement. And wait. beating Liverpool 7-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. I didn't think you were going to mention that.
Sorry.
I almost forgot, I almost forgot.
To be fair, Dominic, I thought they would have done better. I mean, I thought they were in running for top 4 at one stage, Villa. I mean, they were really playing well. They actually dropped off a little bit.
They did,
recently,
and it's they have a reason. They heavily depend on Grealish, and their style of play depends on him linking up the final third and the lower third. And the look, with him out for such a long time, he missed a lot of games. For them to still finish, let's say 6-7 points outside Europe, it's good.
I think the thing you'd have to say with Aston Villa is wherever they finish this season is always going to be a success, because they almost went down, and you remember the celebrations that they did against West Ham. Exactly. But this season, some of their games have been absolutely fantastic. They've actually had some memorable away wins as well. 3-0 at Arsenal. You remember that? That was a great one. I think Ollie Watkins has been fantastic. I actually think the spine of Aston Villa's team is much, much better. You've got Emi Martinez. You've got a back line of, Mings and Ezri Konza. There's another one. I think he's been fantastic again. You've got Douglas Luiz, John McGinn, Marvelous Nakamba, which I absolutely love that name. And then you've got a front three of, Grealish, sometimes Traore, and then Watkins. I think if Aston Villa want, to continue, I think it's going to be... I think Jack Grealish is going to be a transfer saga of the summer. I think at least one of them. But if Aston Villa can keep Grealish, I think they are in for a good season again next season.
Yeah, but if you look at what Aston Villa has been doing, they seem like they have a very good recruitment system. So I think they'll be fine. There's a lot more names you could mention, but we're not going to get too deep into that. A bigger talking point is Chelsea. Chelsea, it seems as if the form on the Tuchel is gone foul. It's gone rotten. If you see what I'm saying here. Yeah. Because if you look at their loss in the Champions League against Porto, if you go back to that one, and then if you go to the loss against West Brom, if you look at their last couple games, right? They actually beat Leicester, but that came between a FA Cup loss to Leicester and to Villa. So that's 2 losses. Then they lost to Arsenal as well. So you got to mention that. They did beat Man City, but that's a rotated City. You got to also put that in there. There was a draw against Real Madrid, a draw to Brighton. So there were these little signs. They haven't been a high goal scoring team under Thomas Tuchel, and I think they're still looking for that identity where he does not know his best 11 yet. Because if you look at what happened today, sometimes you'll have Pulisic, Ziyech, you'll have Havertz, sometimes Werner, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and you'll have Mount, and it's just like he does not know his best 11.
Yeah.
And I think that's his Achilles heel.
And also the big news is that Mendy might be out of the Champions League final. He went off injured today. Kepa had to come on. Now in the second half. So if Mendy's out, I think it's advantage City.
And
if Mendy's out.
I think it's advantage City anyway. I don't think City will beat them either way.
And then N'Golo Kante isn't 100% fit. So even if he is past fit for the finals, he plays the finals, but not at full capacity. You see what I'm saying? He could get injured again, especially if a player like Fernandinho is in the final and he gets roughed up. Yeah. So right now, in terms of Chelsea, they were in jeopardy of missing out on top 4 if Leicester City hadn't, shat the bed there. And they do get top 4, but they lost the FA Cup final, and then they could go on to lose the Champions League final, which I absolutely hope they do. I'll be live next week for a watch along. So
I am going to say this now. Ooh. I think Chelsea got hammered. I think City will hammer them.
If we manage to do so, I'll be pleased. But overall,
the other thing I will say about Chelsea, they don't have any leaders in their team. I'm going to say that pretty proper. You saw if anyone has seen Aspilicueta's red cards.
I was just about to say that. He is a leader, but I've heard about the red. I didn't see the red card. I've heard about the red card. So
he literally lashed out at Grealish.
So we're gonna take a quick look at what happened here. I gotta find the clip. I gotta find it. I didn't see what happened. I would love to see what happened, but I didn't see what happened. So let me see if there's a video somewhere on Twitter or somewhere. So sometimes you really can't. Yeah, you can't. I can't find anything, but I'll look at it on YouTube. But that is poor and irresponsible of Aspilicueta, to say the least. You see what I'm saying? Because as the leader, the captain of the team, you gotta lead by example. You see what I'm saying? So was it the hit in the face that led to the penalty? No.
No, this was a different incident. Basically, what had happened was that Grealish was on the floor. I think he said something to Aspilicueta, and Aspilicueta just lashed out, like just pushed him.
Wow.
Lashed out, pushed him. So, yeah, embarrassing. You're the captain of Chelsea Football Club, and you're going to do things like that. I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I actually think that N'Golo Kante would be a good leader for Chelsea. The problem is that what they've not got a striker.
N'Golo
Not got a striker.
We've been talking about that they might go for Lewandowski. Isn't that right, Dominic? Something like that. They need a striker.
N'Golo Kante is not a leader. That's the thing. N'Golo Kante is just the guy that sits in the corner. He just part of the whole squad, and he doesn't really want to step up.
They need someone to speak.
Yeah,
they need someone
exactly.
speaking and shouting.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Dominic, I wouldn't write Chelsea off. A Champions League final, anything can happen.
No. I'm not going to write them off. I would never write them off. But look, from what we saw, City played Chelsea twice in the back end of the season with 8 changes each time, which meant that Man City played under a different system. Chelsea played with their same system, and they barely won the both games. Barely. 1-0 and 2-1. And it was because of some horrible mistakes made by City. So let's say you have a final with a Mahrez, Foden, De Bruyne. Let's say Gundogan starts, and you have Fernandinho starts. You have Kyle Walker, Ruben Dias, Stones, Cancelo, maybe, or Zinchenko. It's the ideal 11 to play against a Chelsea team who, as I mentioned, lacks identity still, and they still trying to look for their best 11, and they're still not there. Even though they have been impressive under Thomas Tuchel, they're still not at the level of Manchester City.
But and we know as Liverpool fans, a Champions League final.
We know
anything can happen, Dominic.
I know that.
It's whoever turns up on the day, bit of luck
I know
as
that.
well.
But you also have to mention that Man City has been looking for this for so long.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of pressure on them. There's a lot of pressure on them.
No. Forget about pressure. There might be more pressure on Chelsea because they spent 200 mil and are going and are almost looking to go empty-handed. City has 2 trophies already. The pressure is on Chelsea here.
Oh, 100%.
Man City goes in as favorites. Pep Guardiola has never lost a final, ever. Not even a Community Shield, not even a Super Cup. The man just don't lose these things. And the players are just hungry for this. They just want this so bad.
Dominic, your owners want a European trophy. That's the pressure I'm trying to say to you. They've wanted this bloody trophy ever since they took over Man City. This is the trophy, not the league. The bloody Champions League.
I do agree with what Dominic's saying, though. If you spend £228.7 million, you're expected to have success with that amount of money that you have spent. Like, this is the money that Frank Lampard spent. So Thomas Tuchel hasn't had the chance to get his own players in. So the pressure will be on him next season to get this right. I mean, get the striking option right, because I think Tammy Abraham is definitely out of the club. I think that's a certainty. I think he's going to go. Timo Werner, yeah, he's been hit and miss this season. How many? I've actually lost count how many offside goals he has scored this season, because the guy just cannot stay on side to save himself. Mason Mount's been fantastic, you'd have to say. Pulisic as well. There's question marks over his future as well. There's question marks over Ziyech's future as well. So Chelsea are going to spend more money in the summer, and Tuchel's going to have to get these players in to make them successful. But yeah, I would absolutely agree with Dominic. I think the pressure's on Chelsea. It's not on City.
But just think about it. Chelsea are one game away from having a great season.
That is true.
Oh yeah, one game away from having a really bad season.
But there you go.
But
one game.
But you got to look at it. Man City are one game away from winning a treble.
Mm-hmm.
A treble. The first Champions League trophy ever. Do you think that Pep Guardiola, who has worked so hard, I know it could end up being a Chelsea win, but trust me here. I'll be surprised if we lose this game.
City
I would be as well.
City are favourites. I told you earlier in the conversation, I think City will win a 3 or 4-0. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Another thing is, I noticed. Another thing is, I do not want to, listen, I personally don't want to come on here dealing with a City loss in the champion, because people are going to keep talking about it. People are going to keep saying, oh, you battled the Champions League. Oh, how many Champions League you got again? I want to say I got one. You see what I'm saying? I know you got 6. Look, I know you got 6. I got
Let's
1.
Talk about
and
6,
and I'm coming for you. I'm coming
Let's
for
talk
you.
About 6, baby.
Look, last but not least, guys, let's talk about Man City hammering Everton 5-0. Amazing performance. God damn.
Neverton.
I'm going to say this now. City deserved the title from December onwards. I will say that now. 28 matches unbeaten. That takes some doing. So fair play to Manchester City. Fair play to Pep Guardiola. And it was lovely to see Sergio Aguero get 2 goals on his final appearance as well. But 5-0. I actually didn't expect you to be Everton 5-0, but there we go.
Look, I had a 2-1 win. 2-1 win. You know what I'm saying? I knew we were gonna win it. Final game for Aguero and all at the Etihad. Final Premier League game. I knew we were gonna win it, right? But the manner in which we won this game, it was just so exemplary of the entire season. It just was the icing on the cake well baked at the right temperature, and we just put the ice in, and it's just delicious. Come and have a slice. 5-0, guys,
and against Neverton.
Exactly.
I think you should be talking about Neverton, not City. Where are Everton going? That's the big question. We know where City are going.
Against a Carlo. Imagine Carlo Ancelotti getting 5-0.
There's the eyebrow look.
And do you know? I think Man City has done the double over Everton for the last 4 seasons as well, which is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Look, just to mention, guys, Kevin De Bruyne, what a goal. Placed. Riyad Mahrez with the assist.
I thought Aguero's 2 goals.
We'll get there.
Wow,
but Jesus, that goal by Gabriel Jesus, man. What a goal that was.
A miracle from Jesus.
God damn, what a goal. But wait. I'm seeing Kevin De Bruyne has 12 assists. Do you guys know if Harry Kane managed to get more assists this season? Because he was there to get the golden boot and the most assists in the league as well. So let me just check really quick and see how much does Harry Kane has. Harry Kane, 14.
Woo!
Wow.
Kane is able.
Listen, I'm telling you, nice biblical reference there. Look, Dave. I'm telling you. City gets Kane, it's over. Why even debate? Let me tell you something, Dave.
I like debates.
Listen, if Man City gets Kane, the only debate you and I are gonna have next season is if the title is wrapped up before the season even starts. That's it.
Listen, I think City will get Kane. I think it's a shoe in. I more or less think I think it's a job done. They have to replace Aguero. Who better to replace him with than a ready-made striker, as you said, who's guaranteed probably 30 goals a season, Harry Kane. So it looks like he's going. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. The question I think is, what are the other teams going to do around City? The likes of Liverpool, United, Chelsea, maybe that's it. Who can? The only teams that can catch them. We need a striker ourselves.
I think United will place all their eggs in one basket and try and get Sancho this summer.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be good enough.
And
though.
Look, Sancho is not the key to winning the title.
No, it's not good enough.
Because it's basically Pretenders United is what I like to call them anyway.
Yeah.
He calls them frauds.
Do you guys, have you guys ever heard about the old movie called Citizen Kane?
Yes.
It is meant. It is meant to happen, man.
Yeah.
It is meant to happen. You know, and just to finish off the goals that were scored in this game, it's just. I was at work watching this game, and I was like, oh my God. This is unbelievable, because we got two, and then Everton did get a penalty. Gylfi Sigurdsson, it was saved by Edison, who is the Golden Glove winner of the season too, the recipient. So you got to give it to Edison for winning the Golden Glove for a second time running. And then we had Phil Foden. How good has he been stepping up and scoring that brilliant goal? Phil Foden, what a season. That was actually Foden's 9th Premier League goal this season. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's gonna be starting every game next season, I think. I think he's ready made now.
Phil Foden is a starter. He's a starter. That's why Pep took him off, because he's starting the Champions League final. He's so damn good. Guys, imagine Phil Foden. Let's say Phil Foden stays fit for the next 5 years. No injuries, nothing, no problems. The man wins a Ballon d'Or. I kid you not. He wins a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I think the only thing that can derail him is injuries.
Yeah.
That's it. The only thing.
I would agree.
He has everything. He has everything.
I still think one of the stories of the season was Scott Carson playing in his debut for Manchester City 10 years on after making his last Premier League appearance for, I think it was for West Brom.
Played for Liverpool, actually. Scott Carson.
Yeah, he was on the bench for the Istanbul final. So, currently, Manchester City have one Champions League winner in their squad, and it's Scott Carson.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he's a medal,
What a story. Gotta mention what İlkay Gundogan has done this season as well. We didn't see him in that game, but he was on the bench. Amazing player. And
he'll start the final.
Yeah, he deserves a shout. Raheem Sterling picked up the assist for the Phil Foden goal. Sterling do have 10 goals, 8 assists this season. Still not a bad season, but he has fell by the wayside at the back end, though. I don't know what is going on in Sterling's head, though. When you know what's going on? The same thing that's happening to Mane and Firmino is what happened to Sterling. He got that Liverpool forward syndrome. I think that's what it is. And
he was named Football Writers Association Player of the Year in 2018, 2019. And I remember that season. Sterling had a very, very good season that year. And ever just since then, he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's regressed, but he's kind of missing easy chances.
Yeah, he hasn't hit the same heights though, has he?
He did great last season. He was the highest goal scorer for City. Last season he was really good. He even won Young Player of the Season a couple years ago as well. When he was 23 throughout most of the season. The thing with Sterling is that, as I said, the whole Mane Firmino thing, where he gets the ball in the box, you hit it one time. Sterling takes 3-4 touches and then he loses the ball.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating, but nevertheless, he has been a very good cog in the machine called Man City this season. And after 3 goals were scored, Sergio Aguero came on And god damn, the man lit up the Etihad Stadium with 2 bangers, one in the 71st minute and another in the 76th minute. Both of them set up by Fernandinho. God damn, how
Wow. Wow, that's a way to go. I'm going to ask you a question, Dominic and Dave. Where does Sergio Aguero rank in all-time Premier League strikers?
Oh, right up there. I'd say he's top 3.
Look,
top 3.
Definitely. It has to be right now because look, I didn't watch a lot of Premier League during the Alan Shearer era, but when you look at what he has achieved, he has to be the greatest. You see what I'm saying?
He's certainly up there.
Yeah.
Certainly up there.
Look, we gotta give it to him because of the production. The production value. You see what I'm saying? Aguero is definitely up there, top 3 because of the amount of titles he has won.
Top 3,
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a fantastic servant and a fantastic Premier League striker. Like you just imagine playing in the team that had David Silva, Yaya Toure, Sergio Aguero, Edin Dzeko, Pablo Zabaleta. Like the list is just endless. And yeah, what a fitting way for Fernandinho to get 2 assists. And I think it looks like
first 2 assists this season.
Also looks like Fernandinho might be staying on for maybe one more season at City as well. So look, Fernandinho, you just need that experience in your side to continue winning things. And but yeah, what a way to go out.
I think one more season for Fernandinho would be nice so that you could have that veteran player in the squad. He would be the last of the Mohicans, somewhat. The last veteran player from that old era. I know De Bruyne has been around for some time. I know he has been around. Sterling now has been around for some time. But if you look back at those players who were part of that team that last wore that old badge, that badge with the eagle and everything.
Yeah.
De Bruyne, Sterling. You see what I'm saying? Fernandinho and Aguero. They don't have a lot of them left in the squad right now. Most of these guys have been the Aguero, Pep Guardiola signings. Yeah. But the ones who Pep inherited are now slowly going out. David Silva could have spent another season at City if he wanted to. And I think Aguero could have spent another season. But the way that these players are leaving on a high, it's just fitting and it's the right thing. I think they're doing the right thing. And Aguero, he has now become the leading goal scorer for a single club, whereas Wayne Rooney had that record, 182 goals for United. Sergio Aguero, he passed it. He leveled and passed it today, which on the final day, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's just
amazing. He'll be missed. He'll be missed.
Yeah. Look, the quality of the goals is just amazing. But knowing City, right? Knowing City and learning from their mistakes of not, let's say, replacing Company well when he left, Harry Kane would be the most fitting right now in terms of quality. One quality leaving, you have another quality coming in.
The only problem you will have with Harry Kane is he is injury prone.
But look,
he's got glass ankles.
Yeah.
Wait. I got something for you guys. Wait. We're gonna wrap up, but wait, I got something for you. At Tottenham, he is the man. He is heavily reliant on. If he doesn't play, the team looks weak. At City could afford to rest Kane and play a false 9. City could play Jesus. You understand? And still be a formidable force.
I'm gonna say something now, and I think you or Dave will agree with me. If City don't get Kane, they will go out for Dominic, Calvert, Rich, Lewin.
No.
Look, I've been saying that. No, Dave. I've been seeing this one too. You know, I think he would be a very good signing for Man City.
He's not a Harry Kane.
He is not a Harry Kane, but I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin would do a great job at City. I don't think City are going to go in for him, but I think City are going to go big and go for Kane.
Yeah, they're going to go big go for Kane, especially if they win the Champions League next week. If they win the Champions League, European champions, Premier League champions.
Listen,
you can pick anybody.
If you're going to go, you best just go big. Go for Kane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Look,
absolutely.
Obi, thank you very much. Obi says, with all due respect, this is football. Pep is under psychological pressure to win Chelsea. Chelsea's coming on underdogs is not good for City. Look, you know what would not have been good for City? If Chelsea failed to get top 4, it would have been very bad for Man City, because what I saw Chelsea versus Leicester after they lost the FA Cup, I'm like, I didn't want to play that Chelsea team. But I think they would come in with a different mind state now that they have secured top 4 and it's not do or die.
Yeah.
They would want to come hard and win a Champions League. But the quality of the City team and the experience of the team is greater than that of Chelsea's team. Pep Guardiola knows the 11 he wants to play already. Thomas Tuchel's still trying to figure that out. I kid you not. He is still trying to figure that out. Mm-hmm. Thomas Tuchel is figuring that out. Pep knows the 11 already. He knows.
That's the thing for next season, though, Dominic. You'll have a good Chelsea team next season when he figures out his 11.
Dave, if we don't, as I said, if we don't win the Champions League, I'll be surprised. But look, I'll talk about the Champions League sometime this week. That's going to be the hot topic coming up. And it's been a great one. It's been a fun one. Guys, both Doug, Dave, we both have to link up and we're going to have other discussions about other things. And it'll be nice if I assemble the Triple D squad.
Yeah.
to actually make that happen. And we could have a really good discussion, whether we do it live or whether we do it pre-recorded. Maybe we'll do it live. And we could have some quality discussions in the off season where we talk about both Man City and Liverpool when there's developments and even when there's not. And we could just have, a nice little off season here.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me on, Dominic. And once again, congratulations on winning the league.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Congratulations.
But, guys, before we do move on, before we do say goodbye, guys, check out Dave's channel. Dave.
He hit the wrong button. He hit
the wrong button.
I did it again. I did it again where I'm on the tab and I'm looking to go to my YouTube thing so I could get a link for Dave's channel, and then I click out. But that's what I love about StreamYard though, because with StreamYard, even if I'm by myself and I leave the stream is still running. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that was classic though. That was funny.
So guys, that's a link to Dave's channel there, and we have another super chat here from Thriller. Thriller, thank you very much, man. You know what I mean? Even though we're taking a beating right now in the crypto world and everything, Thriller still dropping the super chats here. Thank you, appreciate it. But we'll rise again, Thriller. We'll rise again. So Thriller is saying, Dom, Dave, Doug, with Roman Abramovich's notorious history for being a ruthless owner, does Tuchel go into the hot seat if he fails to win the Champions League? I think he does.
Yes.
I think he does, because with the amount of negative results that we're seeing right now at Chelsea, if this continues next season, he might be gone before Christmas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And I know he'll be backed in the transfer window as well. So with the fact that he's going to get backed, to add, if he loses the Champions League final, he's gone. He's a goner. What are your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's a hot seat full stop at Chelsea, isn't it? I mean, you go in, even if you win the league, or the Champions League, there's still no guarantee you're going to be there next season. I mean, it's just one of those jobs, isn't it? I mean,
I would agree. Yeah. I would totally agree with that. Yeah.
So, guys, also, I would like you to check out Doug's channel. I'm going to get a link to put in the chat. Appreciate I'll be sharing, you know, Doug's you guys should know Doug. You guys should be subscribed to Doug already. You guys should be subscribed to Dave already. So thanks guys for coming on. Big up to the boy Jersey boy in the chat. I've been seeing you. Stop arguing with these guys, Jersey. Come on, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying? You know? Listen, my boy Henry always arguing with these guys in the chat, you know. Always doing that. Stop it, man. You know, City won the title. You say congratulations. Liverpool came in third. You say, okay, it feels good. And it's like these guys are always arguing over silly things. You know what I'm saying? So Muhammad is saying, hi, Dom, can you discuss Liverpool season? We already did. You see what I'm saying? So guys, I share Doc's channel and Dave's channel in the chat there. Make sure you check them out. Subscribe. These are top guys. Listen, you won't see these guys on my channel multiple times if they are not top guys. You see what I'm saying? Real recognize real. Class compliments class. And that's what we're going to continue doing. Once we all on this journey together, we're going to keep helping each other. We're going to keep uplifting each other as well. You see what I'm saying? And not because you're rivals and you want to win, I want to win. We're still going to come and talk facts. All right?
Beautiful, baby.
Cheers.
Beautiful.
So it was nice having you guys on. It was nice, you know, chatting with all you guys in the comments today. I know I did not read out a lot of your comments today because, you know, when you have guests, you have to pay attention to the guests. I have been reading comments as well, but I'll be back on the Solo Dolo pretty soon and you'll get all the attention, okay? So just understand. So, guys, from your boy Dominic Rich, from Doug and Dave, Triple D, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace. It's been a great season, guys. It's been a wonderful season. Wonderful season. Give yourselves a round of applause because you guys deserve a lot of credit as well. I know you guys have smaller channels that you have been building, but just keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, my number might look bigger, I'm in the same situation with you guys. Just keep being consistent, keep showing up, and do it for the love. You know what I'm saying?
We're still live, by the way.
We're still live.
Yeah.
We're still live.
I thought he was doing this.
Nah, do it for the love and keep it coming, man. And you know what I mean? I see Dave, you've been doing the YouTube shorts. I like that. You know, Doug, you need to do more YouTube shorts. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, keep doing your thing, guys, and we'll chat soon, okay? So peace.
Peace.